Welcome to Wednesday Comics. To my right, we have Alex Pastrami.
Why the last name?
I don't know. You know what the thing?
Not even a nickname.
You know what I believe?
IRS.
You know what I believe it is that I was gonna give you a nickname and I couldn't think of one, so I go Pastrami as like a reaction.
It's like I realize you're introducing me to our guests and our listeners, but one, they already know my name. They want to know what amazing
Alex B.
nickname.
Keaton, the man from Family Ties himself, to my right, and across from me we have Garry Shandling himself. Garrett.
By the way, hello everyone.
Nope, because that Garry has 2 R's. I only have 1 R, because no Garry in the history of the planet besides that fucker has 2 R's.
I sent you 2 people.
Yeah.
So it's 2 people.
Lesser known.
And I'm your guy to the right, his left, Marvin.
And my
Who's
left.
Alex's
Your left.
left?
Oh,
Not
no.
my left.
left
You're in
is
front of
right.
me.
Jeez.
Wait, why does it work? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're left.
When will then become now?
We are Wednesday Comics, your weekly comic book podcast. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher Radio.
That's the only way
that's
Alex knows.
Yep.
Otherwise.
I even looked at it. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that.
How's the week been? Let's just say not even comic-wise. How's it been for you personally? Feeling good? Chipper?
Hasn't been
Well, it's
fine.
not quite. Well, I know the show comes out on Sundays, but we record on Thursday this week, and it's not fucking Friday yet. So once it gets to Friday,
I know I'm ready for that Friday.
I actually
Holy
have tomorrow
fuck.
off, so I'm pretty excited.
I actually had today off unexpectedly because Jack, my son, was had a fever. So I
Oh,
said,
really?
yeah.
Hot damn.
Who knows? I might have a fever right now. Actually, I'm pretty hot right now. I don't know why. I might be sick.
Why are your eyes green?
Hulking out. Can you imagine if your friend was the Hulk? If you were Hulk with Bruce Banner, you would never be able to do anything.
See, when we talk about the reviews later, there's one character in that Hulk book that I fucking hate.
But let's say
I'm
like
just saying that person would be the best friend.
you play poker with Bruce Banner. You don't know,
Right.
he might go off. You know, you play a prank at him. He might go off.
Pretty sure Bruce Banner's not in a situation where he's like, I'm going to do things that potentially will make me Hulk out and murder.
But is it only when he gets angry or when he feels threatened?
I always
It's all
understand, like
both.
when you watch, isn't it Incredible Hulk? He can't have sex because his heart rate gets too high.
Oh yeah, Neil Stern's the
So
Hulk
it's
in Incredible
his
Hulk.
heart rate that.
No wonder he listens to the Lonely Man song every
What
time.
if his football team goes to the Super Bowl? You can't watch the game with him, and they start losing. He's gonna Hulk out.
Can't get angry, can't get
He'll ruin
happy, can't get
he'll ruin
sad.
your salsa.
He's got Tai Chi.
Tai Chi.
No, I don't think I would ever want to be friends with the Hulk.
I would be friends with the Hulk. You could ride on his back, punching people out.
Okay, are we talking about Hulk where he's still, he can think, or is this Hulk smash?
Hulk smash.
I don't want to be a Hulk smash friend. Be Hulk toe jam.
Meanwhile, though,
What the fuck?
Hulk just steps on. He's like, "Fuck you."
I think it'd be cool to be friends with not Hydra Cap, but Captain America, Steve Rogers,
Yeah.
stand-up guy.
Yeah, he does all those videos in Spider-Man Homecoming.
That's what I mean.
He'll be like, hey, make sure you lift it before you swipe.
You know what? That's a great example of how much those movies get him correct, because that Cap would do those kind of videos because he'd be like,
Right.
"Oh, sure, I'll do that for you."
Yeah.
Be like, of course, I want to tell people not to. What was it?
Don't do drugs,
and all
stay
this
in
stuff, Stay in
school.
school. That you
Yeah.
got detention. He would do all that stuff. He's like, "Oh yeah, I want to put people on the right path."
I don't think
Good guy.
I couldn't let Peter Parker be my friend.
Now that guy
Not reliable.
You wouldn't be able to go anywhere with him.
Nope, he'd always be gone. I'd
You
be
invite him to
dead.
dinner and he wouldn't show up, and you would just get a text like, "Oh, sorry, something came up."
I'd be friends with Daredevil though. Matt Murdock. I'd be friends with him.
I would.
I mean, only if you're having him over to make supper because he can't see. He's not going to make that good.
I would think he's actually a pretty good cook.
You know
'cause
why?
He can smell all the spices.
Not, if I didn't know this, yes, I would be friends with him. I'm not going to judge. But I know this information already.
Yeah.
I know that he's blind, pretending that he can't see shit. So he over exaggerates his blindness. I'm not being friends with that guy. He's going to be dropping coffee when he's bringing it to me.
right.
Just to be like, "Oh, go! I don't know how to see."
Yeah. Or like in fucking the worst Daredevil movie of all time where he's like, to Elektra, I'm blind. And she's like, oh, God, I'm sorry.
To be
I didn't
fair,
mean to
only
get
one
told."
Daredevil movie ever made, right?
One movie.
Yeah, only
Yeah,
one
yeah.
movie.
Whatever.
So the worst movie is the only one movie.
Representation.
Technically, there's two. There's a director's cut and a theatrical cut.
Yeah, so
They're the
go
same-
watch Argo and fuck
they're the-
yourself.
they
They
feel
both have the
different.
same problem though.
You know what's funny? They had some pictures recently of the Defenders, like promo pics of them just out of character, just the actors taking a pic, and all of them looking at the camera. And Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil, is like looking to the side. I was like, that dude's in character. He's good. I don't know if it's on purpose or if he actually, they caught him off guard. But like,
That's the best
I kind of hope it was that they drew it. What?
made me laugh. That's also another thing. It's like there was some comic we got. What was I think it was it wasn't Vision. There was a comic we got where like it shows everybody like and they're like looking towards somebody, and Daredevil was like, I was just like, that guy plays it up a lot. That's what I mean. He'll over
What's that
exaggerate.
over there, young man?
He'll be like,
That's fucking amazing. I definitely want to see this now.
I think it is Vision.
yeah, where everybody was like looking towards Scarlet Witch and what's her name. We're telling a story, and
Yeah.
Daredevil was like,
Yeah.
where are you guys? But where I'd like, or if somebody who was legitimately blind wouldn't be that far off. They would be looking towards the source of the sound, but he plays it up like, what? What's
I think
going
if
on?
nothing else, you'd end up just looking down, trying to focus on where to look. Sorry, my mouth went down, but like you'd be looking down instead of.
But
stupid with
Bruce
a
Wayne,
smile.
you want to be friends with that guy? No way.
Nah, he'd be an asshole.
Yeah, he'd be an asshole. He's
Yeah,
angry.
he'd be training you to be a bat like Robin, and then basically he'd be like, "Go fucking do my laundry."
He would
Why,
also be like
wait.
distracted.
Wait, are we being like sidekick? Not sidekick, but just
No,
like,
they're just
like,
friends.
Like we're
Just
close
friends.
with them.
But
I don't think.
why
you should-
would Bruce Wayne be friends with you for any reason other than to further his?
I wouldn't? But during the day,
Batman
like at
is-
work,
I'm saying you work at Wayne Industries.
I would
he's
never
like
see
friendly
him.
with
He's
you.
gonna be too fucking busy anyway. He'd be sleeping
That's
all
what I
day.
mean. You wouldn't see him.
So
And when he's with
that's
you,
the way you get the fucking gold watch every year for your 1 year anniversary.
and when he's with you, he's like looking at his watch, being like,
it's 5 o'clock.
"We're
Yeah,
done here.
It's 5 somewhere,
I
right?
gotta go somewhere."
Now Superman though,
Yeah, he'd be cool.
yeah, he'd be cool hanging with. I mean, go save some cats.
Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash. I think not Flash, maybe not.
Not Flash, dude. You guys go run and get some burritos.
I know, but yeah, that's true.
I mean, get some
I wouldn't even
food.
notice he was gone. He'd be like back in. I'd be like,
Like even in Smallville, they do that where they like go from Kansas all the way to Mexico to get some tacos and come back. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do that.
Now they get food poisoning and shit their guts out.
Racist.
"Where does he go?
Huh?
Where does he
Mexico.
go? Oh, Mexico. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, odds are they had a drink.
Hey,
Probably
I
to get
had
some water.
I had Mexican food off 12th Street in an unmarked truck. That's not even. I'm not even lying. That's true.
Oh, really?
Yesterday, yeah. Feel perfect. Fine. Couple tacos.
That would explain that fever you think
Yeah,
you
just
might
like
have.
10 seconds ago, he's like, I think I have a fever.
3 tacos. Chorizo. It was good.
Free taco.
Yeah, this would be
When they were
fun.
free taco, you probably should have said no.
You know what would be cool is Lex Luthor. Like, I know he's evil, just listen. But it'd be cool to see how his brain process works.
Yes,
like,
it would be fun
around
to
him.
see him push me out the window of his building.
He's
It'd be
not a
fun to
violent
see
man. He's
the.
a cunning man.
It'd be fun to see the psychopath how his brain works.
It would be. It'd be cool to see like he's so omnipotent in his business world. Like to just be like if you're doing the whole business
yeah.
esque.
Now the Joker. There's a man I want to hang out with.
Fuck
Because
no.
I might die. Who knows?
I think
It's like going on an amusement park ride. Just like, fuck, I might die tonight, buddy.
I'm thinking
knows?
to hang out with the Joker's like hanging out with a great white shark. You never know
You're
if he's actually
testing
gonna
the
eat
ground,
you. Yeah. I need that cage and bulletproof.
Or it's just like
vest.
Grizzly Man. You ever see Grizzly Man documentary?
Uh-uh.
The guy who hangs out with grizzly bears. He becomes friends with them. Then one day they kill him. So it's like one day
One day they just get
they attack
hungry.
him. Yes, that's what happened to
Well,
Joker.
there's that wolf guy, the wolf man from I don't know a couple years ago. I'm sure he got eaten by a pack of wolves.
Yeah, haven't heard of him since.
I'm still haunted by wolves after seeing The Gray. So those fucking wolves are terrifying.
No,
Speaking of which, Ra's al Ghul or Raisha, I always say I don't know.
no. Raish is if you're a friend. Ross is if you're not.
Okay,
So
Well,
that's
then if
why,
you are
that's why
his friend-
Bruce always calls him Raish.
if
I always
you're
call
his
him Raish.
friend, then you call him Raish. Even that wouldn't be bad. That'd be better than Lex, I think. Raish.
That would be interesting, but
I mean, you would have
Once-
to believe in what he believes in.
he's kind of like
Hey.
that. He's like that guy. Like once he's in your life, like he's not leaving. Like he's gonna have you're involved in his plot now somehow.
Even if you didn't want anything to do, you delivered him a pizza. Odds are
Right.
pretty good. Now you're part of my life.
he
Yeah,
like
you-
put you in a situation where you have to start killing people. Just
He
like
would be, hey, can you give
Here's
me a
poison pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, go give me a pizza, and you leave, and then you come back. He goes, by the way, I put a virus in you, and now you infected everybody. That's what I wanted. Now you killed them all, but you're gonna die too. Thank you. You sacrifice yourself for the
if you find a cure, you can be the head of the demon. I know you won't.
league. That you know what? Think about this. If you're in any of the Marvel, whatever it's called now, 616 Prime, whatever it's called, DC, if you're in the DC universe, if you're in any of those universes, like, how do you even go to sleep at night? How do you even live? I don't understand.
I've actually often thought about real life. If these heroes, these villains are real, it would be so fucking terrifying.
I guess if you're in the Marvel world, as long as you're not in New York, you're good.
Yeah.
And DC, as long as you're not in Gotham, Metropolis, like if you live in the middle, I guess that's what you have to do. You live in the middle of the farm. But then again, no, because sometimes the whole world's going to blow
No,
up. So they-
DC has more epic scope things. Marvel, you're right. It's New York or bust. Like if you're in Kansas in the Marvel universe, like that's the safest fucking state you can be in, or South Dakota even would be safe.
but even still, you're worried all the time.
Yeah.
Probably like how I am right now.
Shaking to your core.
You know what? We were going to talk about something else for free talk, but we're already. I think that's good.
Yeah, I know we planned something else.
Oh, actually,
We planned something-
this turned out way better than I was
We planned something
expecting.
insightful, something that was going to be, we're going
eye opening.
we're going to talk about something, but that was good.
You know,
Save it for
you know
next
what made
time.
the mistake? Hulk. Hulk is the worst thing to start with. Do you want to be friends? No.
You know who I would like to hang out with is Namor. Speaking of which, Secret Empire number 8,
Okay, worst transition ever.
Written
He's there for
by-
like 2 panels.
written by Nick the Mastermind Spencer, art by Daniel Acuna with Rod Rice, Sean, how do you say that? Ezek, and Javi Targila. By the way, Daniel Acuna, Rod Rice in this book, great. The other two,
Shit.
I don't know which one you were, but took me out of the book.
Yep. I thought this book was
I-
really good.
I really
the
like
writing
this
was
now.
amazing.
Okay, what did you guys, what do you think of this issue?
I think the art compared to 6 a million times better. So that was enough to I did notice the change in artists.
That's true.
But it didn't take me out because I was like the whole time I was like at least it's not that shit.
These two are better, than the 6 villain artist,
Yeah.
which I'm sure.
I've already
I think it was-
forgotten 6.
I think it was Rochelle was on that issue. I think it's her art. But these two were fine. But not fine as in like, this would be passable. If this was the art for the whole issue, I would have hated it. But it was like 3 pages, and I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But it
just
took
to
me
get
out
it
of
done.
But it was one of those things I flipped the page and then it changed.
It was
and
not like
bad.
their style, though. Yeah.
No.
So it was like, here's somebody new.
Yep.
And it wasn't like just random. It wasn't like a certain story part or a different setting. It was just like, hey, you do these 3 pages, and then it'll switch to my art. It's like, all right.
Did you read Captain America 25
I did.
for this?
So I was going to see what you guys thought of this issue. Story.
I feel like I wasn't missing anything.
Yeah, I honestly really
what was I
enjoyed it.
missing?
Oh, really?
Did Falcon Cap like teabag Cap? Or
I messed up because
you read Secret Empire first?
I read Secret Empire first. I read Nick's thing on Twitter, and he said read it first, and I was like, okay, I'll get her Captain America first. And then I saw some other person on Twitter was like, reminder, please read Captain America first. I think it's something at Marvel, one of the editors.
It also says it on the title page of Secret Empire.
Does it?
number
I
8.
don't read that.
Yeah. I don't either, but
It is like 4 pages in, by the way, too. So I would have ready. I already would have been reading and be like, skip that.
Right.
So I read Secret Empire first, and I did feel a little bit like, there's some things that I might have just forgot from last issue. That's what I thought. And then I read Captain America, and I was like, oh, here they are. Like, for example, here's the things you missed. But it really, like you said, you really don't need to know. So I feel like I wasted $5. But I mean, the art was good. I like Jesus. 32 pages for $5.
That's a fucking joke.
And by the way, I tried to figure out if they're changing the numbering, what's going on with that. Is there only one Cap series? There is only one Cap series now. But I don't know if it's continuing off of this numbering. Who knows? I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, I assumed with wasn't it Wade and Samney taking over for that 12-issue run that maybe that's the start
I
of
don't know.
their.
I just told the shop, I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on with this numbering. And JP said, I don't know either. And I said, I know Steve Rogers is done because I checked. But I don't know if this is going off of Sam Wilson's or is it going back to the original numbering. I know it is eventually. So I go, whatever's Cap, I go, just put that on my pull list. I don't know what the hell it is. And he's like, okay, I'll just put Captain America in there. Anyway, so you learn Namor regretting giving up the piece of the cosmic cube, and then somebody comes to the door, Shadow. It's Bucky. And then we see that in Secret Empire.
Don't feel like I missed out on anything.
things that we were going to find
That
out
made sense. I
anyways.
mean, they tell you in Secret Empire anyway.
We see what seems like is a good idea. What actually was when it first started in this issue, I actually enjoyed. And then at a point, I was like, all right, this is going on way too long. For the first 3/4 of it, so I would say the first like 22 pages, 20 pages, it is first Cap tells a speech about why he's going to war. We're going to war for this reason, yada, yada, yada. It's like a huge speech, a lot of text.
Yeah.
Look at this text. And it starts off good. And then eventually it's like he's just saying the same things over again. And so eventually I was just like, well, that's and then it's Sam Wilson doing a speech. It's because it starts at the beginning. There's 2 speeches today. And Sam Wilson's like, hey, we got to do all this, like trying to motivate people, inspire people. I know when I said I was going to become Captain America, I'm not doing speeches, but I guess here's one, he says. And he does a speech trying to motivate everybody to come together to fight Cap, Steve Rogers Cap. And the same thing. At the beginning, I was like, all right. And then eventually I was like, how long is this going to go? Like, I don't understand. I feel like you're just wasting pages. And then
Then it ends.
there's something else too. The Namor thing happens, and there's something else that happens.
Hulk throws up a piece. Was it Hulk?
Oh no! So that guy in Secret Empire 1 that we saw, was it 1 or 0? I don't remember what it was. We saw that Inhuman who could throw up things.
Oh yeah.
So the reason why in Secret Empire 8 they have a cosmic cube is they meet him. They go, he's like, I can throw up anything. I just have to think of it. They're like, anything? So AI Tony shows him the cosmic cube and he throws up the piece. That's how they get a piece. He makes it happen by throwing it up. He's called Barf, is what they call him.
Of course.
So I was like, oh, here's that guy. That's why they showed him the first one. Now it pays off in a separate series. Like, not even Secret Empire.
You know, the weird thing never even occurred to me how they got it. I just assumed they got it.
Yeah.
You know what this feels like, this whole issue? It feels like this should be part of Secret Empire, but they cut it out just to have a more cohesive story. And then they were like, well, just make that an issue then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
we'll just jump 4 issues in one series.
This feels like he cut it out of
other.
Secret Empire, and they're like, oh, you can make that an issue. He's like, all right, I'll make it my Captain
Which
America.
is ironic because that's the thing we talked about in Batman 28 last week, that they should have made the death shot or that's the name
They should
of
have
it,
pulled
named it.
that out of it and shown us as opposed to this where we didn't fucking need it.
It's all right. It just feels unnecessary and doesn't feel like it was worth $5 for 32 pages. The art was good. Most of the writing was, I mean, it's like I've said before, Nick's writing is not bad. He knows how to write these people. It's just sometimes he overwrites.
A little wordy.
Yeah.
And sometimes he doesn't know how to get his point across in like simpler ways rather than having a wall of text. So it was fine. But then Secret Empire.
I mean,
I really
story-wise,
liked it.
the issue was really good.
I
thought it was very powerful. Like, it was... I call it like the Sizzler, like, you know, in Walking Dead, I think of the TV show where they split up the group basically in a different, it's like you see two characters, but there's always an episode where you get all the characters together and shit actually starts happening.
Yeah.
Like, this was that issue where all groups are like coming together and it's like, all right, now let's fucking go.
It feels a little like in Civil War 2, whatever that issue was where they had the big fight.
5.
That felt like there was nothing to it. Like, let's just fight. Let's just have an issue where they fight. This actually felt like there was something on the line. So that's it for me, at least.
There's good build up to them actually making these teams come together. And I enjoyed the Maria Hill part where she's even come to that realization the heroes need to come back. And spoilers, they end up taking out somebody. Wasn't it Blackout?
Yeah, the guy that created the dark sphere.
The dark bubble.
Maria, she's in the head.
I really enjoyed that.
That was cool.
I thought Acuna's art is great. I always love Acuna's art. His coloring's great. Rod Rice is great. His coloring's great on those pages. Oh, we learn at the end the cliffhanger is that Cubics is there. So I assume that is confirmation that this is the Cosmic Cube universe, since she is the Cosmic Cube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, now he's been his real essence is stuck inside the Cosmic Cube. So when she changed him, she just took over his real personality and kept him in the Cosmic Cube. So the way to get it back is to get the whole Cosmic Cube
Together.
and Will Steve back is what they're trying to do. Get the whole Cosmic Cube.
So what we didn't want.
It's better than it being some sort of like
Dreamscape.
dream in his head. Well, I don't know if it's better. It just, for me, the other one was too like on the head. Be like, oh, his real self is trying to fight their way out.
Yeah.
Like I said, you could have done that without showing me it. This, at least, there's a reason for showing me it. It's actually happening in a cube. It's not something that's,
Makes more sense why they want to get the
metaphor.
cube.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they don't know that. I mean, I'm sure.
There's got to be something that the heroes know.
Whoa, what if they get the cube together and then Steve Rogers turns into the cube? No, he won't.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
God,
I give
it's
this
good.
like a 7. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I think it was just average. Like,
I give it an 8.
Oh,
I don't think it was
understand.
the best
I
of the
was giving it
series.
an 8.
I don't think it was.
It was fun compared to the
it was
rest of the
alright,
series.
yeah.
You know what I mean? The rest of the series has been like so heavy-handed and like
This was like an accelerant. I
7
thought.
7 was still the best. I'd give 7 a 9, almost a 10 because I enjoyed it so
But once
much.
again, I think we've been saying all along, it doesn't work when you have 15 artists, when you have 15 stories going on. 7 was like one story, and this is like there's a couple other stories, but it's like mainly Acuna art the whole time.
Yeah.
So it like feels like actually one issue and not like 15 issues put together.
Yeah.
And I think that helps when you're reading it.
I think
Certainly does for me.
I think Marvel's finally trying to, not have an event delayed since the last
I actually
4 or
enjoy,
5.
but I'm actually enjoying this event now. Like, this is actually a book that it comes out. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah,
So,
it just made me think that I would get that Omega follow-up thing to see what happens, just to see what the new status quo is.
And can I get your code?
Hey, by the way, there's an ad in this book. I want to get you guys' opinion. That Legacy by Jason Aaron and
I think it's too soon.
Issa Ribic. Is that something you guys are even interested in?
I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna get it because it's kicking off basically it's like the rebirth issue for DC. I know it's like hook, line, sinker, but Jason Aaron and Asad Ribic, if it's just them two,
I'd say
that's a great team.
With Ribic being on it, I even looked at that little bit of sketches. I was like, that looks really good.
Yeah.
And if he's going to be on the whole, it's a event mini type thing, right?
Oh, it's just a one shot.
Oh, if it's a one shot, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Legacy?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a one shot.
I like Jason Aaron a lot. I liked,
it's $5.99.
did Ribic do, he did Avengers,
Mighty
right,
Thor.
with Hickman?
Yeah.
And he did Mighty Thor, or Thor God of Thunder.
And it has the checklist on the back of that page, too, of all the books getting renumbered and everything. So,
Which is lucky. I only get, I think, maybe 5 of those books. So,
but still, I think, like, for the new Marvel Universe, that's definitely something that's probably necessary to check out.
no.
Otherwise,
I'll get it. I'll give it a try. So, you know what else we got today? Not today. Sorry. You know what? Sometimes I still think we do these shows on Wednesday nights. I know we don't. Detective Comics number 962, written by James Tynion IV, art by Alvaro Martinez, colors by Brad Anderson. I tell you what, there's some good shit in this book.
It's really hard to do this, but I think this is the best arc of Detective. Like, that first arc was amazing, but I think this is fucking a million times better.
Best issue, I think, still goes to, 940?
Where Tim...
Yeah, when Tim goes away?
Yeah, that was really great. But this arc as a whole...
Yeah.
I mean, I was excited during that arc, but this one, every issue that came out, I was like, yes, I'm so excited for this book. Like, read it right away.
I caught up on Detective this past week, and I read, 960, 961, and then 962 today. Holy shit, they read so well together.
And the best, guest team person ever, Zatanna.
Holy shit, she made this arc awesome.
She was the best part about it, absolutely.
Agreed.
And it's fun, tying back into Bruce's past. And the only thing I was sad about is this issue. It was Batman and Zatanna basically just doing, an action page for, 2 pages, 2 or 3 pages. And it was so all this back matter we've been building towards is just falling out on this.
What do you mean?
But the back matter was the orb. And then
the orb, but then they get to
Ascalon.
Yeah, but that part was smaller in scope than the rest of the story going on. So it turned more into Azrael being the front of the story then.
But that's the whole point of what I've seen Detective to be, is that it's not even about necessarily Batman. Batman brought everyone together.
But the most enjoyable part of this arc was Batman and Zatanna together.
I think this. I don't think I agree with it being the best arc. I think I still like the first one the more.
Yeah.
And I don't even think this is the best issue of the arc. I think the last one was.
Yeah.
But I really like the art in this arc. I would say it's the best. I really do like Eddie Burroughs, but this one was no, just give me what was it, Alvarez? Martinez?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Alvaro Martinez.
Martinez. I was like, just give me this guy from now on. He has his style that kind of looks like Car Commercial, but it's more realistic, like in Gotham Academy, right? It's very colorful, it's very cartoony, but it still feels like that Eddie Burroughs mentality. Like they're like, hey, give me some. He's still fitting that style, but he's doing his own thing.
Right.
So I love it a lot. Story wise, I don't know. The Azrael. I don't think I like Azrael that much.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I'm
maybe
a
that's
huge Azrael.
I like him in this book. I'm not normally an Azrael fan.
so. All the his stuff about his past, him trying to get over to the Ascalon thing. All that for me was just I would try to read past that fast.
Yeah.
All the other stuff though, great. I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun team book that is like a blockbuster movie. Like if you're missing from Batman, if you only read Batman and you're like, I want my Batman that's where's all the action? Where's all this kind of stuff? I think that's this book.
Yeah.
So you should be getting Detective. And if you really want a Batman that's more about his inner character and him struggling with being Batman, that's Batman for you. That's more a psychological book. This is more the action book.
Which is how it should have been the whole time. I mean, the New 52 was reverse. It was Batman was the detective story.
Which is kind of weird. It's kind of like what you were saying about Superman. Superman's more about him and his family, and Action is more about the mythology. I think the same thing with this. Yeah. Detective's the mythology stuff.
Right.
And also both Action and Detective were having stuff for the Oz kind of Watchmen thing.
Right.
This one we found out where he gives him the orb and he was like, hey, Tim's still alive. And Batman's like, where? And he leaves. He's like, if Tim's still out there, whoever's hiding him from me
isn't good.
Is
impressive.
So that's how we ended. It's now he knows what's going to stop him from
now Batman's addiction.
He's going to look harder. Yeah. Because he's been basically depressed for how long? Since that arc happened, being like, man, I can't believe
22 issues ago.
I caused his death. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it doesn't happen again. Well, it didn't happen. So now, he's hopeful because Tim's still out there, and B, he's pissed that somebody's tricked him.
Yeah.
So the next arc, I'm really, really looking forward to. This is a really great book to come out of Rebirth because I was surprised because this is somebody just like Sam Humphries, James Tynion, for me at least, was like, I was like, hey,
Hit
he's
or
okay.
miss.
Yeah, he's hit or miss. But this thing's been fantastic. There was a couple issues that lulled right after that Tim arc, but otherwise
he's had weak issues, but overall he's been standing up pretty well for this book.
And I want to give him props for turning a character like Clayface from this like villain to a really fun hero character that is really 3-dimensional. And it's like you feel for him. You really don't want him to turn bad, even though I know at some point he's got to go back to how he was. That's how comics are. He's going to go back. Or maybe he stays this way.
I hope he doesn't.
No, that's what I mean.
love him
So
as a
this is
hero.
probably one of my favorite characters actually is Clayface because he's got more than just I'm a mud dude. I've got this
that's
backstory.
right.
I've got this struggle that I have.
So for once you have a villain that is feeling like he's rehabilitated and now he's helping the heroes out and you hope nothing bad happens to him. Happens to him in battle, happens to him to make him bad again, to do any of that. He's like, and he seems to really like them as friends. And it's such a good, because when I first saw him on that team, I was like, Clayface, what the fuck are you doing? Like trying to make bad guy good. Like it doesn't make sense. And now I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be on that team forever.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like he gets less stage time than everybody else, but when he is on stage, he is so good.
I like the relationship that him and Cassandra have like kind of made.
It's kind of like a big brother,
Yeah.
sister kind of
Like
story.
they both kind of had a shitty life and they didn't want it that way. Like they're just dealing with the cards they were dealt and like they found some peace in that with each other. And it's a nice, the whole thing is nice character wise, story wise. Like James Tynion is like, I can't believe, which is strange for me because we read that, which one was the second one? Forge?
Yeah.
No, Castings was
Casting.
second.
Casting.
His Forge thing, Casting.
So he wrote that and it feels like it's just like, for at least for me, I know you said you like
I
it.
love that.
It was like, it felt for me like convoluted. There's too much stuff going on. Whereas this is like, there's just enough going on that I'm like, it is kind of mysterious. Like what's going on? Like who's behind this? Who's behind this? But also it's very streamlined. I never have any issue figuring out what's going on. And it's action packed. Like it's perfect. I like, not perfect.
It's like your
but
epic
it's great.
blockbuster.
But I think Tynion on Detective is actually doing his own thing where there was somewhere he had to go within casting, whether it be Snyder or
Yeah,
someone
with
else
Snyder's
was going,
script
hey,
and he was doing,
here's what you need to do. This is where I needed to
Yeah.
go. So he can write well on his own.
it was just, out of Scott Snyder's kind of like,
Pool of writers.
yeah, because like Kyle Huggins was one writer that he kind of like helped, and then Kyle started writing his own books, and James Tynion was one of them. So like, I really like that James's writing doesn't really seem a lot like Scott's, but you can still tell that they have that same concept of mythology and all that stuff because he kind of puts it in here, like, and also like taking things that already exist and kind of building on them. But I think he does it better than Scott. If I'm going to be
Honest.
frank, I think he does.
That's fine. I actually, Snyder's starting to lose that grasp of excitement for me.
I think he teases it too long.
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah.
He teases it, and then by the time you're there, it's built up too much. Whereas James, he like teases like this orb, and then he teases for like what 2-3 issues, and then that's it. Oh, here it is. Here's what he does.
And then
it serves the point of the
outcome
story.
of it.
Yeah.
I think Scott's getting the case of too much. He's doing too much.
I'm actually, and it's a side note, but talking about James being underneath Snyder in general, I think that new guy who's going to be writing The Signal, I might give issue 1 a chance.
Really?
Hey, I was actually good thing you brought that up. I was thinking about that today because I saw they announced it's only 3-issue mini. It's not an ongoing series,
Oh, really?
so I might get it.
I think it'd be something that, at least for the show, would be just something to go, hey, here's something new. We can talk about
I like
it.
the concept.
We'll see.
I want to see how it works. So if I get one and I like
guess
it, then I might as well just get the whole thing. You know what I mean?
It'd be one of those things that I always wonder what happens to crime during the day at Gotham. And I actually have wondered. Batman only does night stuff unless you watch those random TV shows he's out during the day.
I give this a strong 9.
I'm in a 9 as well.
Yes, 9. I actually was thinking 10 earlier tonight, and I was like, it's not as good.
Was it in this issue where we saw that he got his mind wiped, young Bruce?
That was last issue.
Last issue. And then he bumps into Roz. Raish, not at that time.
Raish al Ghul.
No, they weren't friends?
Whatever.
What do you give it?
9. You know what? I think it was the last issue though that Cassandra says her first complete sentence.
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact they make reference to it, going, "Hey, that was a sentence." I was like, "Oh, that's nice."
And then she said something else and like, that makes sense. And she goes, "Oh, it's Shakespeare. I'm learning Shakespeare."
You guys ruined my transition because you ended with 9, and I was going to say, you know what else is number 9? Hulk number 9. Okay. Written by I don't know. I fucked it up because of you guys. Mariko Tamaki, art by Julian Lopez, and colors by Matt Mia. What do you guys think about Hulk number 9?
Just you and I read it. He's not getting it.
Hulk? I got some gripes with this one. I'm going to start with the art, not the art I'm used to.
Yep. Nope. That first arc was really good, really strong with the art. It's now I'm actually finding to get a little less. I'm starting to get bored of it.
I think this whole story, this arc is just stupid. It's not as good as the first arc. It's basically it's interesting because someone's like hulking out basically. So what's happening is a guy. He was a chef, a TV chef,
like a YouTube chef type of thing.
His producer basically poisoned him to make him turn into this green
cameraman.
Thing. Whatever the fuck.
The producer's the boyfriend, and the 2 cameramen get some drugs from a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they call it. Whatever it was that they
turns into the Swamp Thing.
Yeah, they dribbled it on his cake that he's making. Then he starts to Hulk out, starts to abomination out, whatever you want to call it. And freaks out and is not necessarily running amok, but he's loose in the city and he can't figure out how to unhulk himself or unabomination or Swamp Thing himself.
And the best part about this series has been about Jennifer Walters. And so for the focus to shift to this...
I'm actually not enjoying it, her being Hulk. I enjoyed it more, her being Jennifer.
Right. And I think that's what the point of the series is, like, make you scared of her being Hulk. And I thought, like, she hulks out in this and, like, speaks sentences. I thought it was almost like a joke.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is
when
not
she's giving the threat to the cameramen, Ray and Steve, going, don't do this again, or whatever it was. It's like, you're not as scary as you were when I kept waiting for you to Hulk out and you fought the creature in the first arc.
Yeah.
So,
and, like, I thought that was the worst power move ever. You're going to scare him into a corner. Why don't you just keep him in fucking holding and be like, these guys poisoned him, turned him into this creature that's killing all you people. Like,
yeah, I think it's going to be one of those books. I finish out the arc just to say I'm done, and then I think I will be finished.
I'm not sure yet. I hate Bradley, her little assistant.
Well, now then I know everyone knows that she's She-Hulk, but it's something. Yeah, there's something wrong with her having a sidekick.
Yeah. The coolest part, I think, about this whole series is how much she jumps off buildings to Hulk out. Yeah. That's fucking cool concept. Like, she's like she doesn't get angry. Well, she does get angry, but I mean, like most ways to trigger her becoming Hulk, she just jumps off a building.
Anxiety
to trigger it, basically. Yeah. So that part's sweet. So there's like a couple times the last couple issues you see her on the top of a building. She's like, gotta do this, and you see just her green eyes, and you're just like, fuck, she jumped.
Yeah, it's that fight or flight because even in the Incredible Hulk movie, he tries, well, it's a deleted scene, but he tries to kill himself by shooting himself, but by the time the bullet comes out and hits the back of his throat, he's Hulk already, and he spits it out.
Is it it's a deleted scene?
I'm pretty sure it is.
It is.
Oh, because
you don't see
he talks about it in the movie.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about in Avengers.
In the movie, there is actual scene.
Yeah, I remember I watched that at your place where Cap shields in the snowfield.
Yeah,
basically when it comes.
Well, I'll have to watch that again. I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
But yeah, you're right. She jumps out the building probably to like she'll die otherwise. So and she jumps to the Hulk. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to give this issue a 6 because it was missing that gravitas of this whole series. The art wasn't as great. The focus wasn't on Jen Walters. This is just like an arc that's filler. It feels like that's going on too long.
You know, it honestly feels like it's what's Hellcat's real name? Patsy Walker.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of Hellcat, and it's like she didn't need to be in this book. She could be in it, but she's got this big to do about being in Jen's business. It's like, well, you don't really need that. Yeah. I think I'll agree. I'll give it a 6.
No. Sadness.
A new book came out this week, Mr. Miracle #1, written by Tom King, art by Mitch Gerads. The first issue of 12 miniseries coming out about Mr. Miracle, one of the Jack Kirby inventions. Jack Kirby, happy birthday, 100th birthday. I think today.
100.
Is it?
Today's the day?
Happy 100th.
Is it?
I don't think so.
It's this month, sometime.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of Mr. Miracle #1?
I really loved it. I'm a big fan of the New Gods. So seeing, Barda again, get a little, I always thought Orion was an asshole, but whatever.
He definitely is.
It stays true. It's kind of cool going to Mr. Miracle's and Barda's origins because they were born
That cover, by the way, is amazing.
Yeah, way better than the other cover,
Yep.
I thought. Yeah, I think it's what's really nice about this, and I'm interested to hear your take, Alex. I know Marvin knows something about the New Gods. I'm pretty sure, right? But were you confused when they were talking about the mythology in this book at all?
Yes.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I thought the art was spectacular. But there's things that I don't know Mr. Miracle enough that I'm confused.
You need to stick. I just want you to stick with it because I think
I won't drop it.
Right.
I won't drop it.
I know, but for all you fans out there that are confused, like just keep reading. I promise you, like it'll make sense.
I'm sure they'll explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, because mother boxes, boob tubes, all the New Gods.
The things of New Gods I know is from Azzarello's New 52 run of Wonder Woman. Because the New Gods do show up to duke it out with the Greeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
but the only one I know of is
even like
Orion.
Darkseid, High Father, Godfrey's in this also. Also, have you ever read Final Crisis?
No, is that the death? That's where Batman dies.
Whoa,
right?
Spoilers! Yeah,
but that's where he gets.
I
know he goes into the other dimension because that's the time traveling, right?
He dies.
When he's coming back.
Time traveling. What are you
Bruce
talking
Wayne?
about? He gets anti-life equationed.
Okay. By the way, everyone that book's so old. I'm the one who probably didn't know about it.
it's good though.
Bruce
But
Wayne.
but it does a lot. There's a lot of
Final or
stuff that
Bruce
happened
Wayne?
in Final. I love Final Crisis.
It's good.
There's a lot of stuff in there that has to do with this. I mean, not a lot, but that whole thing, Fourth World, that book. There's some things, but I think first off, I love this. It's my favorite issue that I've read in a long time. It's going on my list, best issues of the year. Yeah. I like how most of the issues, stuff that is in him. I don't know if it was just him in the costume or just when he's on the TV show, but the rest of it is just a 9-panel grid. Each page is 9. It doesn't fray from this 9-panel the whole time. Like that's all it is the whole time. And I love it. I love that there's a structure to this. I love the Darkseid is that it speeds up and every once in a while it's one panel page. Or one panel like every other page, and then one panel page. And then there's one page where it's like on there like 4 times, and it just keeps coming. And it's just like, it feels like this impending doom of like Darkseid, and eventually we're going to learn what they're trying to say here. But so, Orion comes, says, hey, you need to come back. He says, you're the son of Darkseid. He's not. He goes, no, I'm the son of Hightower. What that means is that originally, so Mr. Miracle was Highfather's son. And him and Darkseid made a deal to keep truce, to keep each other accountable. They're like, you can have scot-free. His dad gave him to Darkseid, and he goes, and I'll take Orion. That way we know we each have one of our sons, and we can never start like a war because we know that you'll just kill that person. I'm not going to have you kill him. So that's why he says you're the son of Darkseid. He goes, no, I'm the son of Highfather. So those two have a kind of like brotherly like kind of relationship, but there's animosity there.
What's the stand?
Basically, he's just testing him.
It's just okay.
Yeah, it's just a different way of being like, hey, get up.
But
Okay.
but Scott,
I mean, I understand the premise of the word stand.
he grew up in
but
Apocalypse.
I just want to make sure that
No,
I understand
I mean,
that it's I
psychologically.
shove you down, stand.
Yeah, right.
So you
Keep
will
coming
you're gonna
up.
keep standing up
Yeah.
to me.
He grew up in Apocalypse and like, so he's like been trained there and stuff like that. That's how he met Bertha there.
Sorry, not to keep interrupting you, but this is the character I literally know shit about.
Right, which is why you
Mr.
just...
Miracle was in Darkseid War, right?
Yes.
He's the one who comes back and
Yeah.
is the savior.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was like your intro to him, but again, I cannot say enough. Like, I love this issue as well. Like, I'm going to give it a 9. I didn't give it a perfect 10.
What I was going to say though,
I mean-
all that stuff, I don't think you need to know.
Yeah, it's going to make sense. It will.
No, so I mean, this book is its own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just the characters I don't know all the stuff about.
So it starts with he tries to commit suicide, right?
Yeah.
And then later when he's on Godfrey's show, he's like, oh, what did you do that for? He's like, oh, it was a trick. I'm trying to escape. He's an escape artist. At least the way they see him. And so he's like, I was trying to escape death. Like, I'm trying to escape death. And they're like, oh. And then there's a part, he keeps remembering details differently. Oh, I thought your eyes were blue. No, they've always been brown. And there's some other things. Oh, what's his little friend name? His friend's name? Inside the studio, he brought him those handcuffs. God, what's his name?
oh, I can't remember. I know it's the old man working on the
He
handcuffs.
was so there was a first Mr. Miracle. He was friends with him. I forgot what his name was. Anyways, so he's like, oh no, he's been dead. And he's like, no, there's no way. He hasn't been dead. But so when he's in this TV show, he's on Godfrey's TV show. Godfrey is a villain who his power is persuasion. He can make you see things, do things that you don't know. So he talks to me. He goes, "No one escapes from death. So I try to kill myself." And then it kind of like, and you can see him go, "Oh, like this." I think that Mr. Miracle, like this isn't real reality. I think that maybe he is like stuck in the anti-life equation. And he's trying to get out. And so like all this is him trying to escape death, trying to get out of it. And so I think that's what, because I read an interview with Tom King and he said, somebody asked him, how do you even pitch this? Oh, it was an interview I was listening to. And he was like, I told him, I was like, I want to write, he's like, Dan D was like, any character you want. You can pick any character out of all of them. He goes, I don't care. You can write anything you want. And Tom was like, I know what that means from working in comics for as long as I have, is that when somebody tells you, he goes, every single time I ask an editor to write a person, they're like, oh no, you can't have them. They go, who else do you want? They always give you second choice. He goes, I don't know what it is, if it's some power trip or what it is. He goes, no matter who you ask for, if you go to them and say, I want to write Batman, they go, you can't write Batman. You want to write, instead you want to write Nightwing, and they give you Nightwing. So he goes to Dan, and he doesn't want to write Mr. Miracle, but he's like, I'm just going to just say some character randomly and be like, I want to write this person. And he's like, I want to write Mr. Miracle. And Dan's like, all right, you got Mr. Miracle, whatever you want. And he's like, oh, I guess he actually meant for once I could write whoever I want.
Right.
Because at that point, Omega Man was selling out trades like crazy. It's a super popular book. He just had won an Eisner for Vision. Did he win an Eisner for that? Yeah, I think he did. He won some more. Maybe it was Harvey. And so Dan was like, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. And he was just about to write Batman for them. But then, so the person I was interviewing was like, oh, what's your pitch for Mr. Miracle if you didn't want to write him? He goes, I can't tell you that ruins the book. So I would imagine if the pitch, the pitch would probably be Mr. Miracle tries to escape the equation. That ruins the story. So that's what I thought. Like there's just so many things that are different in this. It's not obviously not his reality. And there's some scenes like that scene with Godfrey where like he kind of acts weird and acts like he's almost being like under mind control. And that I think that he is like not really seeing what he's seeing, and maybe he's under some sort of mind control, and this is him trying to escape that. He's trying to escape this.
I like the...
and maybe that's why he tried to kill himself.
I like the subtle Easter eggs in this. Like, again, these are going to go right over your head, Alex, but Godfrey was awesome. They name-dropped Granny Goodness. Yeah. And I'm just like, fucking show me Granny Goodness, please.
I'm sure she'll be in here.
Yeah, she's got to be next, because she trained Barda, I guess Mr. Miracle too.
Oberon, that's who I was thinking of. He was giving him the cuffs.
Oh.
He has been dead. Sister name of Darkseid, all of a sudden is like, Darkseid is. And
they even had some pings in there. Some ping.
Is that the tubes?
Mother box. Mother box pings.
They even had
tubes, open portals.
The Jack Kirby little bubbles. I love it. This whole thing for me was like, even if you don't understand all this stuff, if you understand just in terms of this story, just in this as a one issue, I don't know if you feel the same way. As just a one issue, I thought it was great. Like, nothing for this. What a number one issue should do two things. One, make you understand the story enough that you're like, yes, I want to get the rest of this. But also, like, make you feel like, why can't I read two right now? Like, why? Like, I want to read the rest right now.
I will admit, I'll admit, I grasp for two because I want to know what the hell is going on. But as for a meeting a Mr. Miracle thirst, I don't know what I'm drinking.
If
this
you
is a mixed cocktail.
If you want New Gods for Dummies, watch season 9 and 10 of Smallville. Explains it all.
But I mean, like, I don't mean you have to know where it's going, but you will have to know, like, oh yes, I'm going to I want to read the rest of this.
For me, this is okay. This would be like me reading Turtles and, oh, look at this. There's a reference to a character. I know. I don't know shit. But I want to get the rest of these books.
Let me bring up a book that we're not talking about today, but actually I read. Redlands, is that what it's called? Redlands. It's right over there if you want to hold that up. I read this as an issue 1. Jordi Belair, Vanessa Del Rey, doing the art, Jordi doing the colors and writing the book. I told Alex before I got here, he's like, oh, how was issue 1? So comparing issue 1s, Redlands was all one scene. The whole first issue is one scene. To spoil it, if you don't want me to spoil it, skip this part. I won't put this in the notes, so sorry. If you were just part of the notes and thought we were just talking about Mr. Miracle. Redlands basically, so they're trying to hang these 3 witches. They look out the window, and the witches are burning the tree but they're gone. Like they can't find them. These townspeople, sheriff, and a bunch of cops, and so they're barricaded inside of a house. Actually, the police station down below, they have the prisoners, and eventually they look out and they see this little girl. And the little girl, they let him in. They go, "Oh, let the girl in," and the girl turns out to be a fucking demon. Kills them all, gets out, and then the witches are there, and the witches say something about like, "Yeah, this is you're all gonna suffer all this like that," and then the book's over. Which is like a cool scene, yes, but there's not enough there to let me know what that book's going to be about. I don't know what the book's going to be about. Which is obviously fighting a town or something like that. I don't know. And is it enough for me to be like, yes, I'm definitely going to get issue 2? I told Alex to have a look at it.
Yep.
Like it was good, that first issue. It wasn't like, but it doesn't feel like it stands on its own. Like if I give that, like I feels like I need more to know if I want to be in that series. Whereas this, I feel like this was enough for me to be like, yes, I'm going to invest this.
Right.
And maybe that's just because I like Tom King. Maybe not. I don't know. But every single person I've seen talk about this book, it's like, that was a great issue. First issue. And I think it's enough to be like the seeds of mystery for you enough to be like, I want to follow that. Let's see where it goes.
We heard Garrett's rating. What is yours, Marvin?
10.
Okay.
I told you one of the best issues of the year. Went right on my list.
That could be a 4.
Mitch Garrett's art was incredible.
The only problem I had with this book, and it happened in Flash too, is like I know it was on purpose for this book, but when there was like some of the panel work where it's like blurry, that fucking hurts my eyes.
But it's supposed to be like on
gets me
TV,
every time. I know it does, but like it gives me a headache every time.
It seemed like in Witches from Snyder and John.
That one's more. That's just annoying. This, and then I guess that's whatever. That's
but it's the same.
The style.
To me, it's the same thing because I can't see stuff in that book.
Oh man.
Well, even on the cover.
At the very least, though, because what you're saying, and what was it, Flash? Also, the text is behind that kind of blurry. At least the text is not
part
of the blur.
The text isn't part of the blurriness. Like that, like it helped, but like still,
that's
like,
what I
even
mean.
looking at that right now, like my head hurts.
That's what I mean. Like even look at the top right one where he says "of course," and it's blurry. I think every time it's blurry like that is him being persuaded by Godfrey, being like, "Here's how you answer. Here's like this is what you think." Where he's like, "Of course, that's what I think," and he's like, when there's a part here when he's trying to explain his trick, and Godfrey said, "What does he say?" He says here, he goes, "Did you actually really escape? I mean, death, right? Did you escape death, Mr. Miracle?" And there's a panel of nothing. And then Mr. Miracle goes, "What?" And he goes, "Oh, sorry, we're out of time." And I just feel like that's, each doing his thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot here that makes me, at least me, feel like I'm getting the rest. I was going to get the rest no matter what.
I think a part
it
of
lived up to my expectations of being
regardless.
Like, this.
At least I know for myself and Marvin, I assume for you, we're still going to all get it anyway.
I'm getting it because of the character.
But I hyped this shit up so much before it came out. Like I was like, Tom King says the best thing he's ever written, and for Tom King to hype it up that much too, and for me to read this issue and not feel disappointed, I think is great. Yeah. Because like if I would have hyped it up that much to be like, I'm gonna love this thing. I love Vision. Vision's one of my favorite books. I love Tom King. Tom King says it's one of his favorite things he's ever written. Like that's a high bar for me to read this book and not be like, that wasn't good.
See, so far I'm on like this is like what's it called? Can't even think of it right now. But I'm on a winning streak with this book with Tom King because I've been burnt on other things by him. So far, so good.
But this does feel like Tom King's story. His Batman feels like it's Batman, but he has some sort of editorial.
Here's some puppet
like,
hand up
hey,
his butt.
here's what you can do. Here, do this instead.
Yeah.
It feels a lot of compromise. Whereas this feels like this is the Tom King I know from Vision. This is the Tom King I know from his, short stories and those quarterly books I read. When I hear Tom King talk about books, this feels more like his style.
I think what intrigues me is the fact that I have read Vision and I loved Vision. That I already went into this book being excited to read it. And I think that Mitch's art is fantastic from Sheriff of Babylon. I am so excited for issue 2 to find out what the next step is.
You rate it.
When did you give it?
You haven't rated
you read it?
I'm going to give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. Can't be a 10 because there's not that I understand what's going on. There's not that other piece that's time yet.
You guys fucking betrayed me. I'm just kidding.
Alex, what else do we get?
I don't even know. I'm still thinking about Mr.
It's right here.
I'm still thinking about Mr. Miracle.
Right here on top?
No, I don't want to. I want to read from my notes. Kill or Be Killed, number 11, written by Ed Brubaker, art by Sean Phillips, and colors by Elizabeth Breitweiser.
First issue of the third arc.
Yep.
Really liked it.
I really like this issue a lot too.
I enjoyed it a lot. I think it was oversized, to be honest.
It feels like it.
It felt like there was more.
Not
pages.
sure though.
This took from the second arc, which the end of the second arc was kind of lackluster for me. This started off great. Reminds you of the first issue, and honestly, I don't know what really boggled my mind about this.
I think
maybe he's like the fucking badass. Like,
I think maybe that's it.
We all forgot. Don't lie to me, then tell me that you didn't forget that he was that fucking
I know.
badass.
When he goes,
I kind of forgot.
I did.
Even in the book, he tells you. He goes,
Yeah.
"By the way, you probably have forgotten this." And there's that nice. We didn't have to do a flashback for when he talks about what happened with was it Daisy, the other girlfriend
that did his paintings.
Yeah. So like he doesn't even have to go. Oh, remember that time that I did this?
Team
it's just like, hey, I dumped her. She betrayed me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah.
Dialogue. That's the thing about Eddie Brubaker. We're on first name basis,
of course.
But like his criminal books, anything he writes, his dialogue always feels true. Always feels like, oh yeah, that's of course. That's the way we find out naturally in the story is that his maybe crush, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, asks, hey, what happened to the other girl? And he just tells her naturally, rather than, like you said, like a flashback. Doesn't make sense. So we learn that the demon is fake, according to like he believes now it's fake. He's like, oh, it's part of my mind. But then he got sick, and he's like, oh, maybe it is real. But he's like, nah, I'm just sick. So I assume now we've mostly concluded that the demon is just him,
a figment of his mind,
because he was mentally sick, and so now he's back in medicine. He hasn't seen it since. He didn't kill anybody that month, even though he tries to justify, be like, but I killed 2 people the last month.
That were bad people.
So he's always going to have those thoughts going in and out. And I think we talked about like serial killers always try to justify their killings, be like, no, I had to. Like the demon told me to kill people, but he was just mentally ill. But now he's actually killing for a reason. He's killing to make sure that Kara stays alive.
Well, actually, he's retired. In the middle of the book, he retires.
He does for a while until
he tells the cops that I'm not doing this anymore. You guys don't want me here. I'll go kill people elsewhere.
Until he goes to her work and somebody asks, "Hey, have you seen Kara? I'm looking for her. I'm a friend of her boyfriend's." They're like, "No," and he's a Russian guy, and he's like, "Oh, they're still after me. Well, I can't just let this stand." By the way, very quick decision. It just surprised the hell out of me. He went into the kitchen, and I thought he was just trying to like get away, and then he goes out and sees the guy and stabs him in the neck. And I was like, holy fuck, it caught me by surprise.
I loved the end of this issue.
The cliffhanger was so good.
Where there's one of those things that's just so natural. But again, I didn't notice he went to the kitchen to get anything. I just assumed he went in there to get away from the guy as he walked by.
Yeah.
Turns out he went to go get a knife.
Goes out, stabs and running. No hesitation. Like at this point now, he's so comfortable with killing. He's just like, fuck. He made a decision like in 2 seconds. I'm killing this guy.
And right away, he was back on the phone like, am I in the right place?
Yeah. Let's go to the party. I think
I'm going to give this issue for me personally as a 10.
I'm going to give it a 10 as well. Too. That was fucking
This
good.
is a strong start to this arc. What you said, the second one, I mean, it's not bad, but it was weaker than the first one.
Dovetailing a little bit.
It kind of felt like, I don't really like where it's going. We're now, there hasn't been a break. So it's not that there was a break, but I think now, because he mentions an issue somewhere in the second arc that he said he kind of thought he was all going to be about Dylan, but he wants to do other stuff now with Kara and then the cop. What's the cop's name? Do you know? Remember?
No.
But he now wants to tell a multi-angle story from different perspectives rather than just Dylan. But now it feels like, oh no, now we're back to where he originally wanted to go, and he knows these other characters now. And now it's going to finally now the thing's back on the track.
Well, I say now you can bring all those characters back in together and make it just a fluid story. Where those other issues kind of threw me off when we were talking about Kira, we're talking about the doctor, we're talking about so and so. It's nice just to get back into that grasp of what this book is going to do.
But it also going to be really excited again because I did forget that he was that badass Punisher, basically.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, we're going to lead up to that scene. Like this, it's going to probably not the end, but second to last issue, we'll get to that scene and we'll see the conclusion, and then we'll be present day.
Damn,
the logical part of me when I was reading this book was that just nice stab right in the jugular. God, it's so good.
Yeah,
like honestly, really impressed.
Oh, me. The knife at the end.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the precision gunshots at the beginning of this issue that he does.
Gets one guy in the head, gets one guy in the chest.
Well, that first scene we seen in the first issue, we always were like, God damn, it's such a good scene. And to re-see it now with perspective and context, being like, seeing where Dylan has come from and seeing him like this now, being like, man, that guy really he's really good now. He even says, like, I'm not that scary kid anymore. Like,
well, even when you watch him get knocked down by that Russian, what is it? The guy's yelling, motherfucker, motherfucker, and then he falls on the floor, takes the back of his gun, bashes him in the head, then kills him with doesn't even shoot him, just beats the shit out of him.
So he stabs him, cleans the knife off, and then tosses inside of a rotten pumpkin and then walks away. I mean, likely he's not that scary guy anymore. There's no hesitation. And I think that part, now that he knows the demon's not real and he has killed people and got away with it on his own without any help, now I think he's like, I can do this.
Yeah.
No hesitation.
Well, now he's even got those other stakes of, like you said, trying to keep Kira safe. Because now it's not just about him. Even the bad guys know that she's around.
How good is this team?
So
Edward
amazing.
Vicker, Sean Phillips, and
Amazing.
Elizabeth.
I wish they'd get back on Criminal.
they said in the letters page that
he
you
doesn't
don't
read.
read.
He doesn't read.
I don't read them.
Sorry.
And to be fair, I'm actually after who told me last week I should be reading them? Tom?
Yeah. You know who has the best back matter is this book
Yeah.
and
Ooh,
Lazarus.
Okay, I was
So
gonna
it's
say
one of those things that.
If you can read any, just read those two.
Well, I was just going to say, I actually today, had I gotten off work a little earlier, I probably would have read the back of this because I am feeling like I'm missing out on some stuff.
They're actually doing a criminal, not a straight up comic book. They're doing novella, which is going to be prose, but then Sean Phillips is going to do art with it. So it's going to be a mix, he said.
and it's
I'm
bringing
really
back
looking
some
forward.
characters
Yeah,
from volume one.
from volume one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second.
Hell yeah.
I was going to ask you who you think it is.
I tell you what, this may be. It wasn't. I don't think it was on my top 5 favorite books, but this issue alone is probably one of my top favorite issues
of the year.
year.
I mean, yeah, it was really good.
Because just I cannot get over him reminding us. By the way, I am BA. I am so badass. And
Question:
then
is there any blue in this fucking book?
I don't think
I don't
so.
think there's one. hue
Which
of blue.
I love that Phillips put her hair back to red. Kira's
Yeah.
hair.
Do you mean
I
in this
hated
issue?
it being blue.
I meant in the series. Is there been like?
Yeah, her hair used
Her
to
hair was blue.
I guess there's some blue, but it's all faded and things. Because I always love how red that whole thing is. But so,
love it.
yeah,
The best.
great.
Like, if you obviously go back and read the first 2 arcs, but if you want to jump on and see, hey, would I like this book? You can read this one. I mean, it spoils the first 2 arcs, but
But you can catch up right now. Both trades are out. They
Yep.
catch you up right to this issue.
hey,
so,
and it's $10 for the first image does $10 for the first one, and then the second one's 15.
$16.99.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, really.
That's not that much.
Hey, to be
27
fair,
bucks
with
you
this
can be
book,
caught up.
16 bucks is good.
Yeah, under $30 you can be caught up right now.
Yeah.
Now, what will be fun is when this book comes out in the deluxe hardcover, like what Saga has, what
Fade out,
Manhattan Projects, what Fade Out has.
Daily Class.
Yeah, that's one I.
The only reason I would say to read this monthly and to get these issues is because that back matter is really good and he doesn't put it in his books.
Essays in every single issue.
And they're really good.
Yeah.
Same thing with Lazarus. I would get it for the back matter.
Right. Did you guys read X plus 66 yet?
Not yet.
No, yeah.
I'm still behind.
It's in my next stack of 6 to read.
I think I'm going to make that when it comes out in 2 weeks. I'll make number 2.
2? Okay, I'll catch up.
All right, last book for the night is Youngblood number 4, written by Chad Bowers, art by Jim Toe. What do you think, Al? If you're not liking this book, you need to drop it. But I'm loving the shit out of this book.
I'm not loving the shit out of it. But this is my favorite issue.
Okay, good. This issue was badass.
I'm not loving the shit out of it. My favorite part is Die Hard. Holy shit, is probably my favorite character.
Yeah, he's a fucking badass.
Now Die Hard is the president, right?
Yeah.
And so we're watching. I think it's what's the
Ratchet?
archer's name? No, what's the archer's name? Staff? No,
The Rock guy?
no. What's the archer? Bow and arrow.
Can't remember.
Staff.
Sky or something? I don't remember.
No, it starts with an S, and it's like stock or stick or
Whatever.
anyway. Getting chased. Die Hard's robot henchmen are chasing him down the street. And he's beating the shit out of everybody. You watch him even use his sword as an arrow. It's like, holy shit!
Wait,
bro.
no, that is Ratchet.
That's not Ratchet.
Yes, it is. That's
No
his
way.
name.
The guy's name, who's the archer?
Yes.
No way.
Yes, it
Starts
is.
with an S.
It does not start with an S.
It's like Stash or
it's Ratchet.
no way. I've never heard him call him Ratchet.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Fucking look that shit up. But when Die Hard, after all of his henchmen, his robots get destroyed, he's like, I can go.
Is it the guy on the cover?
Yeah.
Shaft.
Shaft. Whatever.
There you go.
Okay.
I remember it being a dick thing.
God.
That every time I read it, it bugs the crap out of me.
You're
That
right.
Shaft.
What about Shaft, like the hero?
But he's
Like,
pretty cool. He's like
Talking about Shaft.
He's like
he's-
old guard young
yeah.
blood, basically.
But when Die Hard decides to put on his coat or take off his coat and go do this himself, I was like, of course, that's how the boss should be. Take care of business yourself. Be
We
some
also
Thanos.
got introduced to a cosmic lady. What was her
Supreme.
Supreme?
I thought
She was
we'd met Supreme. I thought Supreme was on the team.
Already?
I thought it was the girl because 8 days before.
Oh, so that was a flashback to them getting her. So you're right.
Because they're accruing the team.
Right. So I thought her origin page
shit.
was cool.
Yes.
Where they were explaining how
they
she
go
became...
to something Haven, Little Haven or something.
Right. So that was pretty cool.
Her?
I don't know.
No, how are we going to find her? I don't think we have to find her.
I think, this is a great combo of, again, for people who've read Youngblood, like, I bet you're loving the shit out of this. For us, well, at least for me.
It's a nice invitation.
Reading, holy crap, I want to go back and get Youngblood, because, like, there's a lot of parallels to, like, DC and Marvel and things like that, but, I don't know, you can tell that this is, like, not just something done for the sake of making money, like, there's a real point to this story, and we're starting to get, it's kind of reminding me of the Ant-Man with the Hench app, except they're using the superhero app basically to turn superhumans into, or like superheroes into henchmen that they can turn evil then. So
did you read the Bloodstrike number?
Yeah, it confused me. I know that was in there on purpose, but I don't know why it was issue 3. And
I don't know if Bloodstrike's on one. If I know Bloodstrike 1 came out a couple weeks ago. I don't know if 2 came out.
Oh, so
but I'm guessing this is either just an introduction that you could read it. But did you know Wolf was in it? What's his name?
Yeah, and he was in issue 2.
Yeah,
out the train.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
That was kind of a cool connection.
Which is definitely a DC Marvel. Just seems to be a ripoff. You had your
Deathstroke,
Lobo, your Deadpool, Deathstroke, Cable, and Lobo.
Right. So when they did the cliffhanger, like, holy crap, it's Blackstrike. I'm like, ooh.
All right.
So, but the Youngblood, like, I love the art. I think the colors, whoever does colors, which I should figure that out sometime. Maybe I think it's
Toe.
Toe, whatever. Looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all very...
By the way, if we're saying his last name wrong, correct us.
Yeah, Toe, whatever.
Toey.
He got Toe. Yeah, I'm glad I'm getting this. I'm definitely staying on.
I'm giving it an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in. I like 8. And I definitely think that we need to go back and read at least volume 1.
I know. I kind of want to go back and find volume 1.
Yeah.
Just to be a part. And I even actually have to read in the Bloodstrike. It's like, I kind of want to read Bloodstrike. I know that they're reissuing them.
Right.
Or reprinting them.
Right.
That might be fun to get on.
Yeah. 8s all around.
Those are the books we read this week. We have Hulk number 9, Youngblood number 4, Seeker Empire number 8, Mr. Miracle number 1, and Killer Be Killed number 11. Anything else I'm missing? Is that it? What were you saying?
I didn't say anything.
Those are the books that came out this week. If you want to go to RedeemableComicsandCards.com, you can get those books and read them, catch up, order them on there, see how things are going. Catch up with this book, especially Killer Be Killed. Recommend. And Mr. Miracle number 1, if you can find it, sold out everywhere, sold out at our shop. Tom and Miss Sergeant America said they didn't get it because it's sold out.
I know that the shop said they're going to reorder more.
Reorder more. There you go. Stop by, put your name in now, get a copy.
I think that's actually what was happening when we were on the shop. Is I think they were putting in a special order.
I put it on my poll because I said I want it. Every issue.
I didn't put it on my poll, which I probably should have. I still have time, I guess.
Well, yeah, I was going to say. Otherwise, you might miss you too. You should do it.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, you can read digital.
To be fair, I'm gonna get. I'll be there in the morning. I shouldn't have a problem getting it.
Issue or episode number 59 today. Our feature, we're gonna do a top 5. Today we're doing top 5 comic book movies. What movies? This is Alex. This is called cinema.
What?
They take comic books. They adapt them to the silver screen, and on this screen, silver screen? Is that movies or is that TV?
Silver screen's TV.
Oh, right. They adapt them. Maybe we should do that sometime. But he doesn't watch enough TV. Adapt them for the big screen for what they call the cinema.
Holy shit.
They get a director, a writer, cast.
A couple times there's more writers,
Best
right?
boy. Everybody gets up there. They put the movie up there, and we're saying what are our favorites. Top 5.
I've never seen movies. I live in a box.
To be fair, that statement's not far off. Not the box part that you haven't seen many movies.
I've seen a lot of movies.
No. Okay. Cinema Paradiso. Seen it?
Wait, what?
Cinema Paradiso.
No.
No? Okay.
You're starting us off.
Garrett, you have your phone up already. I gotta pull up mine.
My number 5. Not my number 1. My number 5 is Batman Begins. I really like the whole Dark Knight trilogy. But this one, like, is the first actual origin story of Batman. Like, we've had mention of it, flashbacks in other movies, but this is the first one where you see it on screen in its entirety.
Year one,
basically. And holy crap, it's good. It's gritty. I mean, you expected it to be revolving around toys like all the other movies had, but this was revolved around story and Christopher Nolan's idea. Man, what a great movie. I mean, Ra's al Ghul's the first villain. What the fuck? Who cares? And it ends up that like he trained him, so like he gets his skills from Henry Ducard. Fuck you. Yeah, I really love the movie. I think that they didn't know that it was going to turn into a trilogy. I mean, they probably did after the success of the first one, but you don't know it's going to be successful.
They set it up. There's Joker at the end. Joker card.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't know that it was going to turn into $1 million trilogy.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like a big blockbuster.
I have a question that I've never understood about this movie. Mm-hmm. So, Ra's dies in the train.
Right.
But then somehow he gets on a plane, falls in the woods, and some wolves are after him.
You're the fucking worst.
This was on my short list, but it didn't make the top 5. Yeah. What about you, Alex?
Weirdly enough, this one didn't occur to me. Dark Knight would have, but my number 5 is X2 X-Men United.
X2 X-Men United.
I think my favorite, the part that really gets me is one. I think that Nightcrawler's a great first scene for this movie. Is when taking out all
his fucking tattoos and transport, right?
Bro, that's what I do.
It's one of the best opening scenes to any movie, I would say.
And I'm a giant Wolverine fan. That his fight scene against all the soldiers, holy shit, is one of the best.
I guarantee you, don't do it now, but I guarantee you, Alex knows play by play how that scene works out.
I could do it right now for you.
Like if you put him in a mansion and gave him like fake Wolverine things, and people came in, he knew every single step to make.
Yep. I honestly, that's one of those movies that I almost just watched it for that part. I could skip everything else because I don't give a shit. Watch the action scenes. Like, yes, I loved this movie, but the action is what really drew me in.
X-Men, X2 X-Men United was on my short list also. They make my top 5.
It did make your top 5.
My top 5, number 5, is a movie that I know for sure you two haven't seen because I brought it up a couple weeks ago. Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks.
Nope.
Directed by Sam Mendes, who went on to direct Spectre.
Yeah. And what else was the other one? Quantum Souls?
No, he didn't direct that one.
Skyfall.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And Spectre. Yeah, that's one I meant. Skyfall. Spectre's a bad one.
I say,
I don't know why I brought it up being like, hey, you directed that movie too. Tom Hanks, Paul Newman. It's basically Lone Wolf and Cub. It's like a gangster story. This dad's part of a gang, mobsters, part of the mob, and his whole family gets killed off except for him and his youngest son, and they're basically on the run from the mob. And it was a comic book first, and they made it into a movie, and that's one actually a lot of people don't know it's a comic book. It's one I think it might be Vertigo. It's a very not old, but it's older comic, and it's a good movie. It's one of the best. And the ending, who knows? Tears might come down.
Jesus, tears come down for everything.
Cinematography wise and directing wise, like I love that movie. It's only number 5 because you can only watch that movie so many times,
right?
But it's really, really good.
My number 4 would be Wonder Woman. Just came out this year. Wonder Woman, absolutely.
It sometimes surprises me how much you've grown into liking Wonder Woman.
I used to hate. Okay, now in the past, I don't know if anybody even knows this. Probably not by the time this show started coming, but I hated Wonder Woman. Not because she was a woman or anything like that. It's because how easily she could corrupt Superman, which would piss me off.
That's because they made Superman versus Superman, Wonder Woman, that one.
Right. They made them like the power couple and like all that bullshit. But like I have grown over time to really love her as a character, and I think this movie like turned it up a notch for me. Like got me super pumped. Man, some of the sequences in that movie, my favorite sequence obviously is No Man's Land, where she fucking charges across the battlefield and basically
beats the shit out of everybody
and conquers land that like was not going to be conquered ever if she wasn't involved. So that was it was just amazing. It was basically she was sick of being told no about all these things, and she's just like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And then she just fucking oh man.
I tell you what, is it Gal Gadot? Holy shit, she she won. She seems like she really would be Wonder Woman in real life.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like she got
The
so
way she
much
carries
backlash about being Wonder Woman, just kind of like Heath Ledger did as Joker. Like I think she's perfect casting, just like Heath Ledger.
I know
for
people
Joker.
complain so much, and then
Yeah.
they saw it, they're like, "Oh, she's perfect."
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah, calm
it's
down.
like-
You know,
not only does she look like
Well, calm down,
she carries herself like
Right.
she should.
you would
be.
think people after the Joker were to learn to like, hey, let's see the movie.
Give him a
first.
chance. Yeah. But
Speaking of Wonder Woman, number one movie box office wise this year so far. It just passed 400 million domestically.
Even beat Guardians.
Yep, it's number one.
oh man.
Spider-Man 2.
So-
Yeah, they just announced the details for the home release. I'm like, fucking pre-ordering that baby.
I love that movie. I think out of like the superhero movies, I can't really think of I've seen any other movies really this year. But let's just say superhero movies because I know I've seen them all that have come out this year. That's my favorite. It didn't make this list, but it made the short list.
I agree. I really enjoyed that movie. There's a few things that were not perfect about it, but it's still top notch. You know what else was top notch for me? Guardians of the Galaxy #1.
One.
Of course. 14.
Bunch of a-holes.
A bunch of a-holes. This is a movie that when it came out, I was not. I didn't know Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I'm one of those bandwagoners now that as I grow into it, it's like, oh, that is a good movie. And a part of it is for me, I think Chris Pratt probably doesn't nail Star-Lord as what he was originally written. But as a character and as an actor, I like him a lot. I'm biased. Love Rocket Raccoon. Love me some animals. Groot. So
Not an animal.
cyborg. Isn't he a cyborg?
You said it yourself.
Groot.
Groot. Oh my god.
Plant.
You know the only two characters I really don't care for are Gamora, I know, Sumi, and Drax. Because Drax is supposed to be smart, and it bugs me that he's not.
Yeah, but
But whatever.
well, I feel like Star-Lord, he's different too.
Hey, give Batista some credit when he gets to 2. He's
I know.
gold.
And 2, he's amazing. He's gold. But it's just.
There's a learning curve.
Batista, also Inspector.
Oh yeah.
It's you know how good he is in that role. This isn't on my list, but Chris Pratt's so good in that role that they basically remade that character in Marvel Comics to be Chris Pratt.
I believe that.
So like they're like, oh, yeah, that's good. We'll do that. And so like I would imagine also like hearing from James Gunn there was a lot of improv stuff like that because I think that's how James directs. So it really is just Chris like as a character. I mean, it's James Gunn plus it's Chris, but that character's so strong that they're like, oh yeah, we like that.
Second thing from both movies, not that Guardians 2 made it on my list, but those soundtracks are awesome. I love
really good.
those songs.
I like the second one better than the first one, but yeah.
Brandy, what a fine girl. Oh shit. I've listened to that song at least 100 times.
Do you get that on a compact disc?
Of course, got that on CD, bro.
Do you? For
Then I put it on my flash drive.
Whoa! You know how to convert?
Backup.
Fancy stuff.
How many megabytes?
Got it on I got it off my typewriter.
My number 4. You haven't seen it, I know for sure. Me and Alex went to this in theaters. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I've seen Scott Pilgrim versus.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That's your number 4.
Yes, I love that movie.
I want to see
Really?
it because I
It's good, but it's not like.
Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors. I love all his movies. I think this one is one of his strongest. It's at least comedically. I think it's his most accessible movie. I like his directing style. The cast is great. A lot of people in that movie. The story. If you like video games, you'll love this movie. There's a lot of references. It's
CGI
very,
special effects.
It's very for when I say my generation, like not just my age group,
games.
but like this whole millennial kind of group. It's very fast. It's very funny. It's very
You think you're part of the millennials?
stupid humor. I am, by the way.
I know you are.
1982 to 2004.
Barely made it.
1982 2004. But I mean, the material is great. It's a very warm story, but also doesn't take itself too seriously. I mean, a little bit, but still. And it's just dumb and fun comics, cheesy. But Edgar Wright does it in a way that's like, also for me, I like watching, like I'll go see a movie just because I like the director. And so for me, like I like Edgar Wright, and there's a lot of Edgar Wright in that movie, and I like it a lot. I haven't seen his new movie though. I gotta go see that.
Baby
What is
Driver.
Baby Driver.
Hashtag Guess Who Swan said it's really great.
I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, I know everybody I talk to loves this except for one person, but I'll tell you after.
Okay.
But Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, I really love it. You should see it. We should watch it.
I think I own it.
But as if you own it, let's watch it. Let's make
I think
that.
I own it.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. I haven't
I
watched
really
it
don't
in
know how
years.
to physical media anymore.
That's what I want to. I haven't
got rid
watched
of
that
all
in
of it.
years, to be honest.
It's great, and the soundtrack's great too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of original music that's great.
Got some Chris Evans in there too.
Of course, my favorite.
Spoilers.
Number 3.
No, I knew he was in it actually.
It's fun though. I would if you haven't seen it and you're interested at all in the comic book series. The comic book series is great. If you want to read that, they actually have a different ending, the series and the movie, and I think the movie's better.
Watchmen.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Number 3 would be The Dark Knight for me. You want to talk about pushing boundaries in a Batman movie? This one pushed every single one. A fucking bat suit where you can turn your neck. It only took 40 years to figure that shit out. Yeah, I mean the story was compelling. Joker was amazing. Two-Face was amazing. A lot of people think that Dark Knight's just Joker. Obviously, it 80% is, but Two-Face is a huge part. In
Hashtag
movie.
my villains.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
hashtag Alex's villains. Crime story, not very much detective work. Not very much Bruce Wayne / Batman, but when they are in it, it's really great. And one of the best endings of all time. If you get further into the material, if Heath Ledger wouldn't have passed, what the rest of this trilogy would have been something insanely amazing that nothing would be able to touch it. But it's still Dark Knight as its own. I can't remember a movie I watched more times at home, on vacations, people putting it on, I was in high school at the time, they played it on the bus, I got to and from football games. I probably watched that movie 50 million times that year.
Holy shit.
Okay, not just
Holy
a lot.
crap.
I'm meaning a shit ton. And every time I watch it,
Who knows how much that is? Shut down.
every time I watch it, I'm still intrigued. I don't ever get bored. I've seen the scene a million times, and I actually just somehow I just get zeroed in on the screen, and I just can't stop watching.
Wait, you shit a ton? Oh,
That would explain a lot.
Alex was your number 3.
My number 3 is Marvel's Avengers. Number 1.
That's good. It's a really good movie. Honorable mention.
I think finally for me, it's a nice combination. The only complaint I ever had is I hated Captain's suit. I really hate that suit a lot.
Yeah,
and
and
Marvel
that
did too.
yeah.
Everybody hated it.
And
I
I think
recently rewatched it and I was like, God, that suit's horrible.
I know we talk about we want their suits to be what they were in the comics. His is the one suit where you need to let him have the belt. You need to let him have the gear that he's carrying because it makes sense.
I like his suit in the comics before they changed it. The little wings on his head.
Well, I think if they would have,
No, in the comics it worked. In the movie, it doesn't.
No,
and maybe
yeah,
part of
they
you
should have
need to
done
actually
it.
have the wings.
they should have done a different design
Yeah.
than that one. That one was the fucking Under Armour suit.
That was his suit that he went swimming in. Apparently,
yeah.
It was mostly the helmet, I thought.
And that's the thing. Part is that I wanted either the wings or wanted that to be a helmet, not this weird latex suit they were wearing. Bugged the crap out of me. But I loved Hulk in this movie. I loved the Bruce parts of it. There was so much about this movie that I loved so much. The Hawkeye finally gets his time in the light, which he's bad most
Not
of the
much,
movie, but he's bad most of the time.
Do you guys remember the hype before this movie?
I was going to say
that was the best part.
The hype before, but also it's one of my favorite experiences in the theater.
Yeah.
Don't you remember when that's my secret? I'm always angry. In that punch, that theater went fucking crazy.
Fuck.
We all saw it together.
Yeah.
For everybody listening. And then also when there's that fight scene and Iron Man shoots his lasers and Cap uses his shield to shoot them. God, everybody went fucking crazy. That whole action scene was fucking bonkers.
Yep. And when
everybody went
the
crazy.
puny god, unfortunately, in the movie theater, we missed it because everyone's laughing.
Yeah.
And after I hear it again, it's it's not as good. I guess I'm expecting more of that puny god, not Mark Ruffalo's version of puny god. But alas,
But I would say one of the things, our friendship was built on, plus hashtag guest host one, was watching those movies, getting excited for them. I mean,
we watched them all.
we watched them all right up to it. I mean, that's when we were starting hanging out, reading comics all the time. That was the fucking.
I was gonna miss this
Origin.
movie because I had finals in college, and this was my last year of college.
We told you to go fuck yourself. That
I was told that they'd pay my gas, they'd pay my ticket. I just had to be there.
we had to get
And
to
I
Was it
was.
finals? I thought you were graduating.
No, it was finals week. I graduated that weekend, but it was finals.
Oh,
week.
that's
My
right,
last test was at 6, and the movie.
I think
was
one
at-
of us bought your movie ticket, something. We bribed
I mean,
the shit out of you to get you
there
there.
was bribery to get me to this movie, and I'm glad I went to this movie.
And
with
we
you
dressed up as the
guys.
fucking Avengers. It was the best.
Say-
Can't do that shit anymore.
We're waiting for Infinity
Arrested.
War to go back again. Yeah, so we can't go with shields, can't go with hammers.
No weapons.
You know what? I think now, I mean, comic movies have changed so much since that movie came out that I think when I watched them, I was like, oh, I expect more from comic movies. But at the time, that was the epitome of comic movies. That was like, oh, this is all I want from comic movies. Right. Like this fun movie. But I think when you look back now, like, well,
it's dated already, but
yeah, it's a little dated. That's what it is.
But that excitement of getting a team of individual characters to come together that were not already a team was pretty exciting.
You mean like Justice League come together and it's in that trailer?
Holy
that
shit, bro!
Come together.
My number 3, guarantee you, it's on some guy's list. Is the original Superman movie, Christopher Reeve, right? No S.
That one's not on my honorable mention.
Oh, really?
It's
okay.
on my list,
well, this is the first movie that, hey, man, maybe believe a man can fly. I love that movie so much. I'll rewatch the movie whenever it's on, whenever I see it on, or every once in a while I'll be like, God, I gotta watch Superman, and I'll watch it. That's the movie for me because I think it's the only movie. Besides, I like Richard Donner's cut of the second one, but I think it's the only movie originally that like knows Superman, that like gets that character 100%.
Yeah,
there's nothing about that movie I don't like. I kind of don't really. Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor's kind of like a little bit. He's a little bit more.
Yeah, he's not really as Lexy.
I still find it fun.
And what's on the back of that fucking cape?
That is
a yellow fucking X.
Otis, Mr. Luthor.
Otis.
Even that's fun for me. But even like just Superman and Lois in that movie, like that whole like him, the opening, him with Lois, that their date's a little cheesy, but I still like it. How that movie ends when he finds spoilers, Superman, when he finds that she's dead and he yells. By the way, he does not turn the world around to go back in time for everybody that thinks that. He actually just going as faster than the speed of light, so it goes back in the past. They do show like kind of the way that they do it makes kind of confusing.
Like it's twisting.
But that's not the way it's actually. Yeah. He's just going so fast that he goes back in time.
Also, have you seen the extended edition of that?
I believe so.
Way better. So before he flies out of the earth, do you like the part where he talks to, like, you see Jor-El's head in the clouds?
Oh yeah,
like
I've seen that.
That part's fucking amazing.
Jor-El, what's his name?
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando as Jor-El is amazing. Nobody will live up to that. Even so much so that when they were promoting Man of Steel, when they made the trailer, they used Marlon Brando's voice.
Right.
No, they used
they used Kevin Costner's and Russell Crowe's.
It was Superman Returns, I think.
Yeah. They still used his. Well, because that was homage to the first two movies.
But even still, like, that's Jor-El. You know what I mean? There's so much about that movie that's like, that's the first superhero movie that's like basically got everybody involved. Like, hey, let's make Batman. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. And it started this whole thing. Score-wise, amazing John Williams. Nobody does not recognize that theme.
Yeah. Like literally, you could say Superman or sing it when it's playing. Like, that's how good that score is.
I love the movie so much.
It's really great.
I've only seen it one time.
God,
but I don't own it. I've never owned it. So
movie commentary.
I would love to do Superman the movie. Extended edition only, though. I don't watch that shitty short version.
Garrett, what's your number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to get some smack for this, but The Dark Knight Rises. Like, there's something about that movie that I just love. I just love the shit out of it. And I don't know why. I like the redemption in it for, Bruce basically going through his back being broken, getting everything taken from him, basically kicked to the bottom of a well and climbing himself out. It's not only physically and mentally, like, it's a redemption for him. And when he comes back, he's the real savior of Gotham, And what I love about this trilogy as a whole is by the time you get to that third movie, like, you don't even, like, his parents, yes, are still heavily influencing this story, but, like, he doesn't need his parents as a crutch to be the protector of Gotham anymore. This is just what he does. So I think it just really went full circle to Batman Begins and really wrapped this trilogy in a nice bow for me. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I thought Bane was an excellent villain. I thought the plot devices were really good. I know you don't see Batman for a majority of the movie. Oh, you think the darkness is your ally. But
that make your spirit, then your body.
It's what? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
You know why I love that movie? It's because after we saw that movie, I started doing my Alfred impression. That's like horrible, but Brucey.
Brucey.
I actually do think I'm going to halfway agree with you. I actually do think that movie's way better than people remember. And I think a lot of it...
We went to it twice in theaters.
Yeah, but I think like if you think about, like I complain all the time, I ruined that movie for myself. And I think a lot of people did. They got so hyped for that movie and it never could live up to whatever they were hyping it for. So when people see it now, they're like, this is going to be amazing. I saw Dark Knight. It's already what these people, and when I at the time was like, this is the best movie ever. And then they saw Dark Knight Rises and they're like, oh, it's not better than that movie. But I don't think it's any worse than Batman Begins.
Right.
But I don't think it lives up to Dark Knight. But
Right.
I like it a lot too.
I think each of those three movies in themselves is good. I would not say Rises is my favorite. I still say Dark Knight is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
And what is your number 2?
My number 2, 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was actually listening to the, you guys were listening with me to the Shredder score. That is a movie that I remember watching as a kid and liking a lot. And as an adult, I even like it more. Because now I know these characters and I've actually grown up with these characters. Holy shit. It is still hard to watch Raph get the shit kicked out of him in that movie. And then thrown through a building. Or thrown through the glass.
I was watching that movie 2 days ago.
Oh Jesus.
Casey
Jones is great. Casey Jones correct where he's not a fucking cop and a piece of shit. April O'Neil, where she actually can, she tries to fight the Foot, really can't. Oh my god. And how much these turtles actually want, not that they want to be people, but they almost just want to be accepted. They don't want to see people get hurt for just shits and giggles.
You know what I find amazing about the movie? Because that movie, the cartoon was on already, right?
Yes.
And they're like, let's make a movie. For that cartoon to be out already and for them to like, let's make a movie, and for that movie to be that mature and not expect people to be like, oh, kids are going to come see this. They were just like, let's make a good Turtles. Like, they were more true to the source material than they were the cartoon. Even though the cartoon's the reason they made it, because it's popular.
Yep.
And when they do the TMNT logo at the beginning, it's the cartoon logo. So it's like, obviously, that's the reason why they make it. The reason why they got money to make it. But the people involved were like, let's make it like a comic.
I love that final fight scene is still one of my favorite fight
It's a really
scenes in
good movie. I really love it. But the thing is, I can't tell if I love it so much because I grew up with that movie. You know how many times I watched the movie as a kid?
Oh, I'm guessing probably as many as I've probably seen it at least 100 times.
And Raph, what a movie. You got a problem with that? And then Domino's. I love Domino's because of that movie.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid be like,
Even
"Can we get
shitty
Domino's?"
cheese sticking to the top of the box Domino's at that time?
Dude, this is before they put the little box cover on it. Dude, now I want pizza.
Wait,
2, I almost want to watch this movie.
How much does he short the delivery driver? Hey,
Isn't it? The tab is 13.
tab's 13.
And it's $10, so it's $3 short.
Yeah. 5 minutes late.
I couldn't
Never
find
paid-
the place.
Never pay full price for a late pizza. My number 2 came up already. The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, as you said, as the Joker. This movie, and you know what? I was thinking about this when I was putting down my list. I wrote down all my favorite comic book movies, and I had like 15, or like ones I'd be like, yeah, I love that movie, or like that's a good movie. And then I slowly went, well, which one of these would I be like, this got to be on the list? So I would cross some out and leave. I have left like 7, and then I looked at the 7, and okay, let's number them 1 through 7, and I did. And this came up as number 2. And I was like, a lot in this show, I complain about how that movie's not really true to the source material. At least I say. But then I was like, but that's a really good movie. And I think it is like one of my favorite movies, and it's a really great movie. Even though it takes liberty with Batman, it doesn't enough for me to be like, oh no, that's not, hashtag not my Batman. It's enough to be like, that's Christopher Nolan's Batman and his interpretation of like how that world is, Gotham and Batman and Joker and everybody. So even though I like that they nowadays don't shy away from more comic book aspects, that's more realistic, it still is like an amazing movie. It has an amazing score. Hans Zimmer taking chances and not having
and James Newton Howard on that one too.
James Newton Howard, yes. They could have just walked in and been like, "This movie's gonna make fucking $1 million. Let's just do a shit. We can do a basic theme." And no, they're like, "Let's take chances." They did a lot of things, experimental things with the Joker's theme and stuff like that to like make it unique, make it so that when you heard the Joker's theme, it's not only frightening what you see on screen and like you're off hinge. The music, you're like, "What the fuck's going on with this music?" Like I don't understand what the hell it is. Like you said, Bruce and Batman are not really the main focus of this movie. But really, I don't think they're supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be that trinity of him, Two-Face, and Joker. To see the different ways that this city has changed them. To see Two-Face try to do good until the city basically betrayed him and he had to go bad. Joker never believing there was a good thing to do and always saying, no, this city's already corrupted. The thing you got to do is we need chaos. Chaos is going to make things the way it needs to be. And Batman trying to bring order and trying to be like, no, this is what you need, some sort of order. You need some sort of... And at the end, he realizes, he's like, no, you do need some sort of order. You need a dark knight and a white knight. You need somebody to be good and somebody to be bad. And I think this movie works on the level of being like, this is a good Batman movie. But also, like I said, it's a good movie overall. Shit, Heath Ledger won a fucking Oscar for this movie. Like, as any other comic book movie, besides Suicide Squad, won an Oscar.
God. Doesn't that just make you hurt?
But... cinematography wise, beautiful. That scene when he's standing on top of the building, spoilers, that Rachel dies in, and he's just fucking beautiful. The way he's like backlit and like you just see a shadow like looking down and they're like cleaning up the mess behind him. It's such a great movie, and like that's a movie that I don't care how many times, like you said, I don't care how many times I gotta watch that movie. I've never watched a movie and be like, nah, I'm done with this movie. Yeah. It's always like, this is good. Yeah, let's watch the rest of this.
And that's kind of like really the start of IMAX too.
Yes, and
he's such he's a fucking
he could have
pioneer.
Too also been like, let's just, this movie's going to do whatever anyway, so we could just make a movie. But he's like, no, I want to try out new things. IMAX, I'm going to try out this. By the way, now he's making Dunkirk. That's like, is it all my IMAX or just the scene?
It's like he said, it's like 90%.
Most of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure he would do more, but those cameras are heavy, and his cameraman was like, yeah, not the whole thing. Right. Plus, it's expensive. But now, like that movie made Christopher Nolan, this guy who he can ask Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers is like, yeah, we'll give you a cash load of money, make a movie. Like that movie, I think it's number one comic book movie in terms of money. But even besides the fact, like commercially great, but also like critically, that movie is amazing, and it deserves. I mean, it's 2 on my list. You would think it'd be number 1 when I'm talking about it because I think it's the best movie on my list. But there's another movie that for me, like,
is your favorite,
my favorite movie. But this movie, but it's still my second favorite. Yeah, and tons of things came out of this movie. Joker, like this is the way people see Joker now. You know what I mean? This no other way.
Well, I was gonna say when he had talked about earlier, this is totally my Joker. This is the Joker I most not see myself in. But I hope not.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
But I appreciate the fact that this Joker is so fucking scary.
That's what I mean. Culturally, this movie had an impact. Like in my life, I can point out a few movies that were like culturally, like it changed things. Matrix. Like after the Matrix came out, there's so many parodies of like that's Bullet's time, things that they do in the Matrix, like they've done in movies past since then because they learned from that movie. Dark Knight, same thing. Like people now, like how many people have you seen dressed up as a Joker as that Joker? Like they don't know any of the Joker. How many times have we seen parodies of Batman, how he talks in that movie? So much so that like when I watch the movie, like I can't really take that voice that seriously anymore. But at the time, it worked. Right. But it's just because so many people parody it. Just like Matrix, though. I watched Matrix 2 days ago. RIPGeech.
Oh, sure.
In that scene, I was kind of like, it just reminded me of the parodies. But still, it was like, when I saw it, I was like, this is fucking cool. Yeah. And The Dark Knight works in that way, too. I'm like, this is fucking cool. And then that's enough for me to remember, too.
I think Heath Ledger nailed it as a Joker in live action. I would still give Mark Hamill, voice-wise, so good, so perfect a Joker.
Yeah. All right, my number 1. Ready for it? Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. No, I'm kidding.
We talked about this.
No, this is the hidden gem of the lost treasure, as you might say. Squad. And fucking Marvin already name dropped it. Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Number 1 movie, comic book movie in my heart of all time.
Did you call me Marmey?
Marmey?
I think I said Marvin. Marvin.
Marmey.
Cool with Marmey, though. It's like mommy, but with an R. So basically, if you've seen... So I've watched like all the behind-the-scenes features on all these Superman movies. Like there's a huge documentary for Richard Donner's creation of them. And when you get to the second one, like there was a big falling out between the Salkinds and Richard Donner. Basically, they scrapped his second movie. Like they kept some scenes, but then gave it over to Richard Lester as the director for that movie. And then in 2006, they found Richard Donner's cut of the film, basically, because they filmed 1 and 2 back to back. That first time I watched Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, I was literally like cheering, standing up, watching that fucking movie. Like, it was so good.
This is a movie I need to see because I've never seen it.
I think everyone should give it a chance and watch it. Like, watch Superman 2 and be like, oh, that's really... Because Superman 2 by Richard Lester, like, it's not horrible. It has some faults.
75% of it's good.
Yeah, 75% of it's good, but you can tell where Richard Lester's like, oh, let's throw an emblem and hope it does something. Doesn't do anything. But when you get to the Richard Donner cut, you're like, this is the true keeper of Superman. Like, he should have done this. Like, Sal kind of...
There's a lot of characters that are way different in his cut. Like, they initially, basically, like you said, he was supposed to be a director of the movie. They kicked him off.
Yeah.
There's some character... What's that character's name? That Zod's muscle.
Non.
He, in the original movie, he's an idiot. But in the Richard Donner cut, he was supposed to not be an idiot. He's like actually...
He's like ruthless.
He's like, like a strategist. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Which in the comics, Non is too.
Yeah.
Because it's Non, Ursa, and Zod.
But in the... what's his name? Link? What's the other guy's name?
Zod?
No, the director.
Richard Lester.
Lester. In Lester's cut, he's just like basically like a dumb...
Yeah.
He's Bane from
Lester turned it
Batman
into
and
a
Robin.
comedy. He turned it
into Batman and Robin. He went cheesy.
Yeah, and the ending was still like there were still great parts of that movie, but again, that was all Richard Donner. But they didn't give him any credit for it.
But if you watch that movie and you're like, I like the way Superman took it seriously, but not seriously in meaning that there's no like, it's not light. It is light because it's Superman, but didn't take the material seriously. And then the second one, you're like, oh, this is like, what's going on here?
Did you?
That's because it's somebody else. Yeah.
So in Superman 2, the Richard Lester cut, have you seen Superman 2?
No.
You haven't seen any of the Superman 2?
The only Superman I've seen is
The first one.
1, Returns, Man of Steel.
Okay. So you're missing out some Superman history here. But in 2, basically what Superman, something happens to his powers and he tries to get them back and his mom gives him the powers back, which was like, okay, cool, whatever. But in the Richard Donner cut, fucking Marlon Brando's Jor-El. Oh god, that scene makes me fucking just
I remember
get amped.
That movie came out right after we became friends. And I remember, because I've seen 2 before, and I thought, I love 1. And 2, I was always like, I wonder.
It's missing something.
It's mostly good.
Yeah.
And then Garrett remembered me like, you should watch Richard Donner cut. I just watched it. It's amazing. And I was like, what? It's like 2 new scenes.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And he's like, it's a different movie. I go, there's no way it's a different movie. What are you talking about? How can they make a different movie? And I watched it. It's a different movie.
It's completely different.
It's like you're like, holy shit, they have that much material to work with. They had like when Richard could go back and do what he wanted to do, it shows the power of editing, the power of post-production. You can really make 2 different movies, and they did. So like when they tell me now that they're reshooting Justice League, they're doing a lot of stuff in post to make it a different type of movie, to like lighten it up, the tone of it. It's like, yeah, I'm sure they can. Like, I believe in it because I've seen that cut. And there's all the reason why this isn't on my list because like Superman 1 more. But even like I was like, Garrett's gonna put that as a list. I crossed it out. So I was like, it'll come up anyway.
Right. Great.
Hey, Alex, what's your number 1?
I'm to be fair, I'm not going to say it. I'll let you, if you want to take the guess. I'm sure everyone, at least you two, should know.
TMNT 2 Out of the Shadows.
No,
I started watching that today and I had to shut it off.
But I'm pretty sure you guys can name what my favorite movie is going to be. Where?
Number 1?
Road to Perdition?
That number 1?
Yeah.
Is that what I think it is?
What do
The
you
Winter
think?
Soldier?
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 1? No, number 1 too.
Yes. I saw this movie. This was actually one of the few movies I've seen more than one time in theaters, and the first time I went was with you guys, and it was good. And I was like, holy shit, this is way better than the first Avenger. Then I went with my girlfriend, which is now my wife, and I'm
married?
not married, bro.
No.
We got this ring.
Oh.
Ladies, I'm sorry.
No
This
more
one's
bottomless
single.
popcorn buckets for you guys.
But so the second time I saw, she and I are holding hands, and when exciting things happen in the movie, yes, I'm saying that.
I know. What are you gonna say? I'm laughing at what you're about to say.
But I move my arms while I'll end up squeezing her hand.
We know you punched this guy during Spider-Man.
And I have
Fuck, I got punched in the face.
He got punched at least twice. But I'm one of those guys. I'm so excited about these fight scenes in this movie. Like the first fight scene you see is
it makes me laugh that even on a date, you're like, I gotta fucking
no. It's not my hands are jerking. It's I'm squeezing her hand really tight, and so she goes.
That's what I mean.
She goes, "Can you let go of my hand?" Oh, Sorry, and I mean it's a death grip. I'm just so excited watching this. I'm so enthralled.
It's fucking Cap like decking people with that shield. You're like picking up her arm and going like, "Fuck!" She's like, "Wow, fuck! Why
are you doing this?" The first fight scene where he's fighting the Leaper. I thought, oh my god, this is so good, and it's just proof that Captain Rogers is such a respectful man. Where Leaper goes, I was told you're more than just a shield. Are you going to prove it to me? And so he puts his shield down, takes his helmet off. It's a fair fight now. Let's do this. And still beats the shit out of him. I cannot say enough good things about this movie because I have a man crush on Chris Evans. If you're watching this, bro, you're one of my favorite people. Shout out.
The action scenes, Chris Evans is amazing. I remember when they announced him, I was like, the Human Torch? What are you talking about? But he really gets that character a lot, and the writing gets that character. The Russo brothers are amazing directors. I've learned from that movie. Like, their action scenes, like you were saying in that movie, are like very inventive, very like... Because eventually, if you see enough movies, you're always like, oh, I know where this is going. I know what they're setting up for it. And for The Winter Soldier, there's a lot of scenes where I was like, I've never seen this before. Like, this is new and fresh. Like, when I went to see... I mean, it's not as revolutionary, but when I saw like The Matrix, those fight scenes are like, wow, they're really taking a lot from like anime stuff like this, and they're really making it their own. Whereas this, I was like, wow, they really understand comic books and like how they set up fight scenes in comic books, and like it really did feel like a comic book movie come to life. But also plot wise, that's a movie that doesn't make you like doesn't talk down to the audience, being like, oh, we're not gonna make a movie. We'll make a movie just about something dumb. No, they're like, let's make a movie where we have allegories to real life. Like, what does it mean to be secure? Do you give up your security for safety, or do you give up privacy for safety? Like, do you really want to give everything up to Shield so they protect you, just like in real life? Do you really want to give everything up to the government so that way you'd be like, oh yeah, go ahead and take my information, take my fingerprint, take all my information as long as you keep me safe? Is that really worth it at the end of the day? And what Cap says, he goes, this is not safe. This is not security. This is fear. Like, what you're doing is telling people you will die if you don't go with us. And that's to make a movie like that at this time, like the age that we live in, especially when that movie came out, is risky for a superhero movie to be like, people go to movies to be like, forget about stuff, especially superhero movies, and to go there and be like, oh no, we're going to make a movie about politics. And like that, but that's what Captain America is. Yeah. And I know a lot of times, a lot of people go after Nick Spencer being like, why are you putting politics in Captain America? It's like, motherfucker, that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's why I love that book. Now, there's some crazier things about that book, which right now why I don't like it, but I mean, I do like it. I get it. But that movie for me was like, oh, this is Ed Brubaker's Captain America. Like, this is like, there's good action, but there's a lot of like, hey, real life stuff's happening in this movie. It has repercussions. They're going to be and then the whole thing is just like, and then it sets up stuff that in terms of the whole cinematic universe, if you watch Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., like that set up stuff for that, set up stuff for future movies because S.H.I.E.L.D. gets disbanded.
It's still like unraveling.
For everything.
There's a lot of other just Easter eggs in this movie. I know if you pause it during the targeting scene, when they're in the helicarriers, you do see Stephen Strange's name. I'm sure you see Bruce Banner's. I love that Zola is in this movie.
Yes, and that
he's not this
TV screen.
He's not this overdrawn character. It's just he was smart enough to put his consciousness in a computer.
And I love all the side characters in this movie. Sam Wilson's great in this movie. Natasha's great in this movie. I love her in this movie. She's so good.
Sharon Carter was cool.
Sharon Carter we have in this movie. We have Winter Soldier.
Holy shit. You know what? I never liked Winter Soldier until this movie. And not that Winter Soldier or Bucky is one of my favorite characters now, but I love which is it, Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
He makes me love Winter Soldier.
He's really great.
Score
is great.
Incredible.
I love that score.
Yeah, so good.
I really like the first movie's score. Not a lot, but I like the main theme at least. And then that second one, I listen to that second one all the time.
They incorporate the first one sometimes into it, but the second one was more like
Album Silvestri, the first one. Second one was by Henry Jackman, I think.
Right.
But the second one is more like
I'm already calling it to mine right now. Like,
the weird thing. There's only the one part I remember is when Captain is in the museum listening to
it calls
Bucky.
back to the first one. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's only the weird thing is when I watch this movie, it's not the score that I hear. I'm so busy just watching.
We understand you get sucked in, but you're already punching the screen.
I'm stuck in. I'm so in this movie. I don't hear anything else. I'm just seeing what.
But that's what I'm saying.
Doing.
Like this movie works on so many levels. Like me being like, oh, this directing's good, this score's good, and you're like, man, this is awesome action scenes, and you love Cap, you love all these people. And you know what? When I heard they're making a Captain America movie, I was worried because there's some people who write Cap and they don't understand who this guy is. There's some people who are like, oh, he's the American good too. The same way they write Superman, they don't understand who the fuck this guy is. And I think like I like Mark Miller, but like in Ultimates, he doesn't underrate fucking Captain America. He's totally wrong. As Ultimate Captain America is totally wrong. That's the guy who I thought I was like, oh shit, they've taken a lot of inspiration from Ultimates in the cinematic movies. I don't want that Cap. Nobody wants that Cap. And then when I saw Chris Evans in the first movie, and then a lot in this movie, especially when he deals with Bucky, I was like, that's Captain. Like when he's at the end of the movie, they're fighting the ship, and he's just fighting him. He's like, I'm not going to fight you. He's like,
I'm with you till the end of the
I'm
line.
your friend.
Fuck.
Holy shit, it's so good. It works on so many levels. Like, like you said, emotionally, like for me being like, that's my Cap. Like, he's not going to punch Bucky. He's like, no, remember, like, we'll die in the ship. Like, you can punch me and like, I'll be almost dead. And as long as, you don't get hurt, like, let's figure this out together. And then Sam, I love Sam, brings him on board. And then he's later on in the movies. There's a lot in this movie that's just like, I love it so much.
I think to me, this is the movie.
I don't buy
that's
many
a
movies.
staple.
I buy this movie.
I actually, it was like 2 years after this movie came out, and all I talked about is I want Winter Soldier. I want Winter Soldier. I want this movie. I finally just bought it myself and I watched it, and I've watched it at least 4 times since I got it.
Ed Brubaker is in this movie.
Is it really?
Yeah, yes.
Isn't he one of the
Scientists
yeah,
when
right,
Bucky's
in the
waking
lab.
up? Yeah. Also, at the time, speaking of seeing it in theaters, I saw this twice in theaters because I saw it once with you guys, and I remember we know who Winter Soldier was at the time, but they took a good while in the movie to show you who he was. And I remember when his mask came out, people were like, "Oh shit, it's Bucky!"
Bucky. I remember my wife was surprised.
They did a good job about like
keeping it under wraps.
yeah, so that way it is a surprise. So that I like that also. That it wasn't just pandering to like me. Obviously, I'm looking for certain things, but also they were like, "Hey, this is for everybody."
The Winter Soldier reveal for everyone other than those who probably already knew is kind of like what Vulture was in Homecoming, where it's Liz's dad. Spoilers. They're like, holy shit. Well, whatever. By this time, they've either listened to our show, we've already spoiled before.
Yeah.
So.
Also, what I like about this movie, so I saw for the first time, and I remember talking to one of my friends, and he doesn't see any of these superhero movies. He's no interest. And I was like, you should see Winter Soldier. And he's like, why? And he's into politics. So I was like, it's a really good movie, even if you don't watch this movies. I bet you would like it. And so then we made plans, and me, him, and 2 other people, we went to go see it again. It was like, what, like a month afterwards? How long? That movie was in theaters.
That was on April 4th it came out.
What the fuck? How do you know that?
It's my favorite.
Sometimes you're like a robot, Alex.
Hey, you know what? I want to find out if I'm actually right.
But anyways, we saw it wasn't as packed of a theater, but even without the crowd reactions and just seeing it again, knowing what's going to be happening, knowing the action scenes, it's rewatchable. Like that thing is so good. But he, like I said, doesn't watch any of those movies. He even liked it. You know what I mean? It's like it's a good movie on its own, and I think that's what we look for on like this list. It's like, what's a good movie? At least I look for. I was like, these are good movies, but even like these are good movies. This one was a good movie. This is the reason why it goes over Dark Knight. I think Dark Knight is a good movie. There's some things about it that bug me that aren't like Batman.
Right.
They don't like. They do like. We're kind of embarrassed a little bit about that source material. We don't want to really do that. We don't want to do that.
Embrace who he is as a character.
Yeah, Captain was like, "This is who you love, and we're gonna make a good movie out of it." And I was like, "All right, I'm there."
What's that say?
April 4th, 2014.
Jesus,
Sorry.
you have no life.
I made fun of this guy because I thought his steel trap was getting rusty. Nope, still sharp.
Still sharp. Just depends on what it is.
Depends what it is. Oh, go good.
I just want to watch some fucking movies.
All I want to do right now is go and watch Winter Soldier and then watch Dark Knight.
What was the other way I said? Superman? We should do Superman. We should Winter Soldier commentaries coming down the line.
Holy shit.
Those are good ones.
Those are good ones.
Oh.
Even though I had fun making fun and like, but also I think I like Batman Forever. We all like it. But we
Enjoyed it, but it was fun to make fun of it.
There's certain parts of it that we were like, it was good to laugh at it. I really think we should sit down and Spider-Man I do like, but it was really dated watching it again.
Yeah.
If you listen to our commentary, Spider-Man, we point out
Superman
a lot.
the movie is going to be way dated.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't really think so.
But the thing is that
Superman is like a classic.
I'm interested to watch a movie that we all respect and like, where it's not just a movie that we can make fun of like Forever was. Spider-Man was good, but I still am going to give it shit. Winter Soldier, I tell you what, I'm going to watch this movie and I'm going to be watching this movie. Like the hard thing for me is that I'm going to be focused on it, that I will talk.
Good, maybe you'll shut up. Hey, by the way, Superman, I was thinking about this today because I watched 2 documentaries today.
Yeah.
Batman and Bill. It's a good movie. Dr. Bill Bellfinger. Made me cry at the end. Almost. By the way, I said it at the beginning of the show, I told these guys to take anything these days to make me cry. I'll see a fly get smashed and I'll probably cry. But I also watched, I don't know what it's called. Doomed, I think. It's about the Fantastic Four, Roger Corman movie that never came out. That, hey.
Yeah.
I watched that. And, there's a car outside and it freaked me out. I watched it and I was like, whoa, I feel bad for like making fun of that movie now because these people like put so much work into it and they actually thought it was going to be a good movie. And looking at like, you know, I told Alex afterwards, the whole movie's on YouTube, but I watched part of it and I was like, you know, it's not that bad of a movie when you think about it. Especially considering like they had no money. A lot of the people that worked for it paid money because the studio wanted to put it up. And the only reason why they did it was so they didn't lose their rights. The producers were like, I just put something out and they never expected it to come out. What was my point? Oh, I was watching that and they talk about Superman because they talk about the special effects. And it made me think, that's why I thought it was Superman for this list. And I was like, did they really talk about kryptonite anymore? Because they talked about the rights. Oh, that's right. No, never mind. I don't even know why I brought it. That's for. I'm rambling now. Batman and Bill, they talked about Superman, about how Jerry and Joe had the rights to sell to DC. And I remember they had a fight a couple years ago with DC. And DC said they were going to start not mentioning kryptonite, not mentioning like things that Jerry and Joe owned 100%. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about, I was like, when's the last time I saw kryptonite? It's like Superman comic. Has it been in comic books recently?
It was in the New 52, otherwise it hasn't been.
Yeah, it hasn't been around. That's when they had the fight.
The closest thing to the reference would be Metallo in Action Comics.
But was it kryptonite?
No.
Or was it just...
he's just in his green suit. Yeah. They never talk about what he's powered by.
Was it kryptonite? Okay.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about what he's powered by.
Yeah.
They just kind of shy away from
it.
That's been the show for today. If you don't watch any of those movies, go ahead and rent them. What the fuck was that? Go buy them, whatever. I don't know. Go see what. Dark Knight, Superman 2. I would recommend the Richard Donner cut. If you've never seen it,
you have to.
And you've seen Superman 2 and you think, oh no, that's a dumb movie. Go watch that. It's a totally different movie.
It is.
TMNT, if you've never seen it, number 1. Good score.
Winter Soldier. Oof.
Good music.
Top.
Winter Soldier. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen Winter Soldier.
You never know. There might be some people who haven't. If you haven't seen it, I think you're missing out. But I think
that goes from under that rock you've been sitting on.
Even I've seen it.
How much are you guys looking forward to the upcoming movies? Thor Ragnarok. What's your hype on that?
I'm excited for it, but I am also a strong believer that we saw a lot of that movie. I know it's only been a minute that we've seen. There's a lot of stuff we saw in that commercial, in that preview, that trailer.
I'm excited for it. I mean, I heard the runtime's a little short, which is, it can be good or it can be bad. Good.
I think it's 122.
Yeah, it's good that I'm going to get we're rolling with that movie. Or it's bad because we don't get...
an hour and 22 minutes?
I think so.
I think it was an hour and 40.
It's a little over an hour and a half.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So
94.
Otherwise, if it's got a lot of exposition leading into like the beats, oof.
I'm guessing this movie is going to be one of those things. We've already had a lot of talking in the last 2. We're just going to get into the goods.
Yeah.
So which is my hope.
Actually, that's what I heard. The director said that it's mainly because it's such a like, boom, let's go. The whole thing. There's not really a lot of exposition.
Good.
That's
what Black Panther comes out next year.
I'm really excited for Black Panther. You know why? Creed. I love Creed. You love Creed too.
Ryan
Same
Coogler.
director.
Yeah.
I watched Fruitvale Station, his first movie. God, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
God, I just can't. I'm looking forward to Black Panther, and I hope, judging by Marvel's current tracker, they usually let the director do whatever. Except for Edgar Wright.
I think in Black Panther, I'm not sure what to expect, so I'm hopeful for it. And I think the part is that it's mysterious for me. I don't know what to expect.
If they let him do whatever he wants to that movie, then it's gonna be awesome.
And Infinity War, Gauntlet, or whatever, I'm hopeful for it. I don't know what to expect. I'm guessing we're going to see some death of characters, which is fine. I kind of want to see some people die. I want to know these characters are not indestructible.
I'm really looking forward to Justice League too.
Justice League.
It has to get it right.
Amped.
We'll see.
Amped.
I will see JL with you guys. I can't decide if I'm amped yet or not. I know that Joss Whedon is fixing things, which is great. I'm excited to see where we go. Hopefully it leads the way to DC kicking ass.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of these movies or upcoming movies or this week's comics at Wednesday Comics on Twitter. Follow Alex at Alex Pastrello. Follow his alter ego at Pastrami_news. Follow Garrett at Garrett2188. Follow me at Marvin_Saguero. The bell's downstairs, by the way. So not
Ding.
find us on Facebook.com/Wednesday Comics Podcast, Google, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.com. You can find Wednesday Comics on WednesdayComics.com if you ever need to find this information. Look at the top line. What does it say? Marvin, Alex, and Garry.
Fucker, I did not see that this whole time. Fuck you. It's Marmon, AP, and Garry with one R. Fuck that second R.
No, you call me Marmey.
Marmey.
I'll go with Marmey. It's a cool name. No, it's not. But
It kind of reminds me of Barbie from
Starmie.
Black Hammer.
Stormy.
make sure to visit our sponsors, RainbowComicsandCards.com. Let them know if you want Mr. America #1 that they're ordering more. Get your name on the list. Go to Roots, theswampthing.com before Greg Capullo starts that run. You need to know about it. Here's the thing. Somebody stops you in the street and says, you've heard about Swamp Thing. And you say, what are you talking about? They may punch you in the face. It's possible. Don't get punched in the face because you don't know about the green. Roots, theswampthing.com. Get ready also because it sells out fast if you want to get the Holland Files #2. I saw on his Instagram recently one of his collaborators is doing a little work. So it's coming together. You want to get on board? Then I'm going to punch you in the face. That's been the show for this week. My name is Marmey.
I'm AP.
And I'm Garry.
Everyone keep turning those pages.